Testing. Okay, it is working. Christ. All right, guys. Welcome. We're back. I'm a little bit behind, so we're going to do the intro quite quickly here today. More story and lore playthrough stuff. Should be pretty good. The Windows, if you follow my Twitter, you all know this already. I had the big Windows update. What's it called? Build 1803? Yeah, broke a lot of stuff. So I had a long list of things I wanted to accomplish today. Very little of it is done because most of the day has been troubleshooting. However, I have managed to resolve some of the minor issues enough to be able to get a stream going. It's mostly my editing software and stuff that's a bit of a problem right now. So, yeah, we'll do this. We will continue the story. We've got a pretty exciting one. We're going to the Mist today. This is the one with the gods. So I will see you all there very soon. In fact, I'm going to make my YouTube video right here, right now, to announce that we're live, okay? So this will be a bit weird for you guys live, but here we go. Alright, hello there. If you are watching this right now, that means I'm live. If you're unaware, we've been doing a big story-focused lore playthrough of Path of Fire. And right now, I'm currently in the middle of part 7 of that, where we are visiting the Mists. So if you're not keeping up with Guild Wars well enough right now, there was a big moment with the most recent expansion where we once again got to meet with the gods. And it's probably the highest point of the entire expansion for me. And, well, I'm playing that live right now. So if you guys want to check that out, click the link at the top of the description, and I'd love to see you there. All right, boom. So I'm going to put that on YouTube while we're in the intro. Efficiency. Very good. I'll see you guys in just a sec. Ready. I'm back. So can people just confirm to me that the audio quality is okay right now? That would be really nice. Because I'm not entirely sure whether everything is exactly as I want it to be. So on OBS's side, let's just see. You guys have full regular quality. It's all good in those terms and whatnot, right? We're all fine? Okay, see. Okay, good. So yeah, hello everyone. Aloda says, missed yesterday's video. What did I do? Well, we read audiobook stuff from Edge of Destiny, and we speculated a lot about Glint. We talked about a big part of Path of Fire, which was... Let me just get my drink here. I've got, like... You guys have got no idea, right? It's so summery and nice and wonderful and amazing right now. And I've got myself perfectly set up so that I get all the heat of summer, but... I'm in a nice, cool, shaded area with a fan blowing on me and like a huge chunk of ice in a crystal clear glass that I'm now filling with Sprite Zero, yeah? Oh, what a situation. And now I get to sit back and I get to play a bit of Guild Wars with you all. What a beautiful friggin' day. This is really nice. So yeah, we read the book. We talked a bit about Glint. We talked about the struggles and successes and complications and congestions of the Path of Fire story and how much that they had to deal with. And, well, we're ready to continue on with what is, to me, probably the high point of all of POF, which is the visit to Cormier in the Mists at the library. So, let's check this out. I guess it occurred to me after yesterday's stream that the first time we were doing this was we were trying to not be spoiler heavy, right? Part 1 through 5, we were, like... playing dumb and we weren't doing spoilers, and now we're just going spoilery all over the place. So not really sure what to say there. We kind of ruined the series a bit, but last time I was doing this, if you remember, I was actually recording locally on my end very meticulously because I wanted to upload this all to WP2 and have it, you know, this was going to be my playthrough of POF, but now we have the Let's Play, so I'm not doing that. I'm not recording on my end anymore. It's purely just for you guys here on Twitch, so we can slow down. We can do the full conversations. We can make it 30 goddamn parts if we want, because that's the beauty of Twitch, right? That it's all unprofessional shit content anyway, where anyone can interfere and interrupt by throwing a sub or a donation, so let's just, you know, take our time with it. Oh, and not only this, but I'm on a hot summery day, and here I am in-game in the cool-ass Shiver Peaks. This looks glorious right now. I mean, we're not actually going to be here. We're going to be in a super hot place in-game as well, but still. Right, so last time we actually ended here, so I guess I will just walk there and we will start today's adventure there as well. Oh, I've got to see, is my desktop audio working? Can you guys hear the game? You should be able to hear the game on that, right? Surely. I think that should have worked. Wait, my Twitter update said Guild Wars 1 big update exploration. Huh? Did it? It shouldn't say that. I tweeted saying, time to meet the gods in the mists. That's what I tweeted. It shouldn't be anything else. You guys are getting 4 F4s. Yeah, the bot is broken. I don't know where Flag is. I've barely been on Discord this past week and a half, so... Yeah, I need to fix the bot. The bot has got some real cobwebs growing on it. Speaking of which, I literally just saw a giant spider blatantly right before my eyes next to my desk trying to build a web. And I was like, hell no, you're not doing that. Come into the house. Just got rid of it right as we started. It says the Twitch title that shows there. Oh, I guess that Twitter didn't update its embedded thingy or whatever. Well, no, it's not Guild Wars 1. Sorry to disappoint anyone. How many people came in from Twitter, by the way? Do a lot of people follow my Twitter updates when I go live? Because I stopped tweeting that I was going live a while ago because I felt that no one was really watching anymore. Well, some people clicked. It's weird because as a regular user of the internet, I myself do rely on Twitter a lot. Oh, can you guys hear the game? I don't know if you can. You might not be able to. It doesn't look like it's showing you anything. Let me check this. So I favor Twitter a lot as a person. There we go. You can definitely hear it now. I favor Twitter a lot as a person, but I don't know whether my viewers do necessarily. This FOV. Nike, you are one of the only people in the game that would recognize a low FOV and not like it. Yes, we are on low FOV because it's more immersive for the playthrough purposes, okay? I'm also on my road to an EU legend on this FOV, so clearly it is the best FOV that we can possibly have. Yeah, the truth is, it does look a bit shit, doesn't it? But I got used to it a while ago, so whatever, basically. Right, let's keep going in. And I guess we'll just pretend we came out the port here. Now, if I remember rightly, though, in the story, it doesn't kick you back here, does it? In the story, doesn't it throw you straight to the tombs? Or not? I don't ever remember warping back out into the world right here, though. I'm not sure. Hey, Ted, it's finally caught your stream after 3 tries where I just plumb fell asleep. Damn time differences. Dude, what time zone are you in? You must be... OCX? OCX must be falling asleep right now?
So much power.
Further east across Europe, it's a bit later at night, but still totally doable. Across the Atlantic and towards the States, it's daytime right now. They're either at work or they're here. So it has to be OCX. You have to be all the way over there for it to be night right now, right? Oh, I'm going to miss the Wastrel's demise. I always mess that up. I always try and use kick into Wastrel's ruin, and the kick moves them away. I like play so little warrior, and then always miss the big hit. Yeah, so believe it or not, guys, quite a lot of people have to work weekends. It's true. Oh, there you go. You're in Hong Kong. You're in the Philippines. Well, hello to the Philippines. I had a really lovely comment from someone watching my videos on YouTube who said, hey, WP, you're one of only 3 people I've ever subbed to, but unfortunately, I have to stop watching because I'm going to live in China now, and I won't be able to see you anymore. I just want you to know for all these years, I've really enjoyed your stuff. I thought that was a really, really sweet comment. Frickin', I wonder who the other 2 people were as well. It's weird to think someone would be on YouTube and basically be subbed to no one, but one of the only people they sub to is an MMO person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd expect everyone to be... If you're subbed to me, you're probably subbed to a lot of other people who churn out much bigger content and have massive user bases, you know? But then when I think back to my starting times on YouTube, as a user of YouTube, I followed really weird niche people before my eyes were opened to sort of mainstream YouTubing stuff. All right, here we go. So the Tomb of the Primeval Kings is night right now. Is it going to become day when we enter the instance? I can't remember. In Cormier, it keeps the same day-night cycle moment as the real game, but I don't know about in later expansions.
Here we are. The Tomb of the Primeval Kings. The portal to the mists is in there.
And that's our route to the gods. I wonder what we'll find inside.
Holy crap!
Answers. That's all I want. A break in the silence. There has to be some explanation.
That's easy. The human gods abandoned Tyria. You may not like that explanation, but...
I can't accept that. I won't.
Whatever their motives, we only have one path available to us, and we need to take it. Let's get moving.
I'm turning off my post-processing here. This is the vanilla that you're looking at. They forced my character to emo. That never happened before, did it? Or maybe it does sometimes. That was really cool nonetheless. So, as we know in retrospect, Rit looks pretty much right here. But Casimir is like really, really cool in this scene. If it wasn't for Casimir's perspective on the matters of this event, I really wouldn't care about her in this expansion. But simply because she's like, oh, I want answers. For God's sake, I want to break in the silence. That's the player base. The player base screams what Casimir is saying here. So it's like almost impossible to dislike her in this situation. For me, anyway. So I really like that. Kanak doesn't say too much here. And yeah, I guess it is going to be daytime. I don't know. I like my post-processing. I like it a little bit more saturated. Was this character a Norn? Yeah, this is a black Norn. I don't know why I felt the need to clarify that he's a black Norn. I guess to me it's because I don't really imagine Norn being black. But I don't know. Maybe that's my own ignorances. Obviously, there are black Norn. You can find some in Lion's Arch and all over the place, actually. But yeah, all right, let's go. What was that about direct trading I just saw in chat as well? Engzak says, WP, is there a possibility for Guild Wars 2 to introduce direct trading between players, or is it something that Guild Wars 2 isn't and never going to be implemented? It's never going to come, in my opinion. It's too late for this game. It's not valuable. What you'll see is trading post caps adjusted or economies adjusted, but that's about it. They made a decision with Guild Wars 2 to go heavily down the road of convenience, so far down the road of the convenience that a lot of immersive social features have just been destroyed, and direct player trading is one of them. I've always regretted that. I love direct player trading. I think it's what makes MMOs in a lot of ways, or it's a very important cornerstone of building social interactions and making chats full and vibrant and having, you know, I think it's a really, really important part of these games. but ArenaNet made it very clear when they made this one that that wasn't Guild Wars 2, and I don't think that they would randomly change a core thing like that later in the game. They're not going to delete the trading post. And the truth is that most of your average casual gamers out there, they don't like player trading anyway. They want the convenience features. They want the neutered down, watered down, quick and easy junk food experience of the trading post. That's what they want. So ArenaNet's not going to turn their backs on them now.
What do you want?
Who are they crying at? Me. They're upset at me. I don't want anything. Don't worry, guys. Oh my god, guys, I feel so good right now. This drink is so icy cool. Oh my god. You and MMO Inks are the only Guild Wars 2 people I sub to on YouTube. You should look around a bit more, Cherry Tunes. There's a lot of good people out in the scene for Guild Wars 2 YouTube. But I'm very flattered, thank you. I'm sure Inks would be too.
These are sacred grounds.
He's sometimes even in there on this stream, so you might see him respond. Alright, so I guess these guys are just mad and they're going to fight us.
Your actions
I always find playing Warrior weird in open world because I never quite know when to full count. It's kind of fun, actually, in that the kind of animations your opponents execute is so, like, relevant at all times just because you want to get max value out of full counter, you know? And counter blow, I suppose, on Mace.
You have no place here.
So there I tried to do the quarter-second daze straight into Wastrel's Ruin. Didn't seem to do very much. I should really equip... Did we equip those trinkets in the end? We did. I still feel like I don't crit enough. The only downside of playing on a really hot summer's day is it's really hard to see the screen right now for me. Like, really hard. You can hardly see as my health gets low. Scrolling down.
Just leave us in peace.
Oh, we just had more fighting. I thought there was going to be dialogue. I was quiet for a really long time there, but it's just because I thought there was going to be dialogue and I didn't want to talk over it, but apparently not. No, we're still going. See here, I full countered, but it was a waste of time. And really, we should have just healed straight away. I'm also not too good at getting the adrenaline value out of To The Limit right now. To The Limit is such a wickedly crazy ability now. This gives 10 dodges to your team. Like, actually think about that for a second. Wait, no. Oh, in PvP, I think it gives 10 dodges.
What business do you have in this sacred place? Come to steal more emblems of our royal house?
Stand down. We're not after your trinkets, or whatever it is you're guarding here.
Trinkets? How dare you?
Maybe you should handle negotiations, Commander.
It's true what he says. We're not thieves. We only seek passage. Please let us through, for Tyria's sake.
I see through your lies. Too often have thieves and trespassers defiled these hallowed grounds. I'll kill you before I allow that to happen again.
Alright, well, I still don't have the achievement for this instance, by the way. What was it again? I only killed a real Primeval ruler during the Split Illusion phase. Now, if I remember rightly, this achievement was a bitch because the NPCs can basically cause you to fail it, right? Like, Ritlock can kill the wrong one too quickly. Am I right about that? Do I get to keep my modifiers even? Alright, so here, how do we do this? Which one's the real one?
She's created illusions.
Is it her because she's lit up more?
One of them is real. If we can find the
No.
real one,
Alright, well, I
break
failed
her
the
focus,
achievement.
we might be
How do
able to
we-
undo the illusion.
Give me energy.
One of them started on 95% health.
Hit her, Twig.
So, is it this? No. She's got a bow. She's got a bow. She's got... How do we know which one's the real one? It's not her.
I will avenge you.
Or her. Oh my god, I did really trash at this. Wow, did I fail so bad that I killed... That it was the last one? But why? What tips me off? God, I'm missing so many abilities as well. This is actually really bad.
Such might.
The image near the health bar.
I can feel Bear's power.
How do we know which is the real one? Current SPVP in a nutshell. I mean, there are ways to tell on that. This one looks orange, while the others look
Real Nottage, Commander.
blue. So she is, and her icon's a bit different. This is annoying because I'm trying to look at the icon while dying. So these ones don't have crowns, but this one does. So is that the idea? And can I rally off of these is the other question. I guess probably... Oh, I can. Oh, thank you, Arena.
Increases.
Okay, so we're looking for the one with the crown. Right. I failed it anyway. Right. Full counter? No. Oh, yeah, we did get it. Okay, good.
So much power.
The real one holds a different weapon skin. But it looks like there's actually quite a lot. So...
Look for the real Nadege, Commander.
Oh my god, this is well annoying. While getting attacked, it's pretty infuriating. I don't see a health bar difference this time. An icon difference this time. Oh, I'm just gonna vengeance and kill a ton and hope that that qualifies me for rally. God, I thought it was an axe there. Oh, we're gonna die, guys. Oh no, we rallied, we got it. Alright, well anyway. I'll go back to that one day, maybe. Oh, come on, lady.
Try me. Your actions.
Okay, we made that one, that's good. She's not tanky enough at all. I barely get to start doing some damage and then she's just dead straight away.
I cannot stop you. You may pass.
As I said, we're not thieves. You have my word.
So you say, but I'm not the only one you have to convince.
Hey, Mad Minds, it's good to see you. Memorize what she looks like through her portrait, even down to her necklaces. Yeah, I saw the difference on phase 2, but on phase 3 I couldn't see any differences. Tint depends heavily on settings. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Zoom out. The real one appears first and is a slightly different color. Oh, it sounds like there's actually a ton of different ways to figure it out. That's cool. All right, I've already granted you passage, she says. What more do you want to know? So here they spend, you know, it's all about going to the Mist right now, but they give us a little bit of an opportunity to learn a little more about the Primeval Kings and whatnot, which I also really enjoy. So tell me more about the Primeval Dynasty. She says, very well, the kings and queens of the Primeval Dynasty watched over Alona for over 600 years. Though our house has fallen, we were the first to rule these lands. I kind of really want, when we go back to Istan, because we're totally going back to Istan, right? And maybe even closer to Farina. I kind of want more, like, discussion about the Primeval Kings going on this epic freaking pilgrimage all the way up here to die. Like, if you do that same distance anywhere else, we're literally talking like a trek from Maguma to Ascalon kind of levels of distance here. I know a lot of you all will have just compartmentalized, oh, it's all Alona, but this is actually mental. This is the most distant reaches of Alona, if you can even consider that, once we're beyond the boundaries of the Crystal Desert. So for them to get all the way over here, some say it's the gods first crowned. Some say the gods crowned the first primeval king, set above the others who first set foot upon this land. However, the truth of this has long been forgotten, erased by the sands of time. I remember when I first played this, I thought that they were essentially suggesting that once we met the gods in the mists, that we were gonna get this was going to become like a big plot point. By the way, can I just say how amazing Path of Fire was at this point in the story? It was really heating up. It was really exciting. And geographically, we'd only just scratched the surface of the territory of the game. So the expansion was such a 10 out of 10 for me at this point. Yeah, it missed things, but you know, you don't get time to analyze certain things that it missed. But it'd been really awesome, and I was having so much fun. And as well, when you end this instance and they return you to Amnoon, and it feels like you actually get to come back as a bit of a hub, and maybe it would happen several times. Honestly, my opinion of the expansion at that point was so good. And the thought that we had the bulk of the expansion left in 3 more maps was so cool. Little did I know that these last 2 maps had almost no story in them, but yeah. Bit like in Heart of Thorns, really, at that moment where I've described this with Heart of Thorns, where I was so excited when I first got to Auric Basin, because it felt like you'd done so much at Verdant Brink, doing all the metas, getting all the collections and stuff, doing all the story, and then finally moving through. And it's like, whoa, and there's still 2 whole more maps, and then it turns out the last map's not really a map, and this map's got barely any story in it. You know, it's kind of the same POF. Not as bad, but kind of the same. Anyway, that's all a huge tangent. Tell me more about your time as the Queen of Alona. Alona was a wild and lawless place. Tribes waged a never-ending war. There was no one to protect the innocent or to seek justice for the wrong. To that end, I founded the Order of the Sun Spears, rallying many great warriors to my cause. Together, we brought the warring tribes of Alona under my banner, and we established peace. So she's like Mega Cormier. If Cormier never became... I mean, if you... she's like the Spear Marshal. You know, we think of Cormier as this great character. Guild Wars 2 players probably think of her as a great character because she's a god. But no. When I say great, I mean powerful. I mean influential. When I think Cormier is a great character, it's because she was a Spear Marshal. She was a friggin' badass. But this was the first Spear Marshal. Calamari says, yes, the main story went bad in the Desolation, but the stories of every map itself told was great. For example, Vabi with a very cool society of undead and humans. I agree. I absolutely agree. Tell me about your time as the Queen of Alona. We already read that, sorry. Why did you let us pass? With my blade, I sought to carve out peace in the desert. I recognized the same fire within you. Okay, thank you. Why has she still got a marker above her head? I don't know. But check it out, by the way, Primeval Ministers. Primeval Nobles and whatnot. I mean, even this is just such a thickly, densely exciting place to come to because it's so perfectly and immaculately recreates the Tomb of the Primeval Kings. Path of Fire did a few things really well when it comes to jerking off over Guild Wars 1, and this was one of them. Like, honestly, the Desolation was another really, really good example. It just so faithfully and perfectly recreates those places, but with better graphics and 2018ified. It's incredible, you know? So good. Thanks very much for the couple of subs here, by the way, guys. You guys are awesome. Benji, another month of good times. Thanks very much, Benji. That's lovely. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh my god, this Windows update is actually... You guys don't know how many random different things it's messed up. Okay, there we go. There's the thing I want to see. Yeah, so Benji, thanks for the sub. Just Some Shenanigans, thanks for the sub. Hey, it's Julius, thanks for the sub. Mad Minds, Nexitar. The Source says, I'm still waiting for this LOL emote. I don't like the new ones that much. Keep rolling. Yeah, the Guild Wars ones we'll see. I think right now, Panic is the only one people really like of the Guild Wars ones. So we'll see. I'm on my own with that stuff now, though, so it will take a while before you see anything. Thank you, guys. You're all awesome. Is there a way to...
Leave us in peace. No more. We can suffer no more.
These ghosts sure are jumpy.
Joko made quite an impression on them. We should move carefully here.
Interesting that Joko was here, what? Or are they saying that these guys were originally slain due to Joko? I don't know. Someone said, is there a way to get Path of Fire and support me? If you're genuinely curious about that, yeah, there is. Below the stream, there's literally a button you can click, and that actually does support me if you click that, if you get the game through that. So thanks very much, if anyone considers doing that.
Get a load of that.
One thing I didn't like about the Desolation is the glaring removal of that huge ruined city we see at the outpost just before entering the Moor area. Yeah, the ruins of Mora, I agree. I miss the ruins of Mora as well. That was one of the places on the Guild Wars 1 stream recently we went to admire, because I think it's really cool. And I was excited about going back there in Guild Wars 2, and yes, it was cut. There was a lot cut from Desolation, though. You know how yesterday I said that there was so much story swirling around that there could have been 3 or 4 hours of gameplay just to fully settle all of it? And instead we got it in one instance. You know, in some ways it's like, yeah, the devs only had so much space to tell the story. But in other ways it's like they had all of the Desolation time to deal with those kinds of plot points as well. But instead we just got nothing. Oh, I was saying nothing. We got a tiny thing, right? And then we moved on. So, I don't know. I think it just comes once again down to scoping issues. Here I am coming along this wall, acting as though I'm about to buy funerary stuff. This blood ruby looks awesome. Interesting. Does that actually do anything? Does the blood ruby do anything? Or what?
Such might.
Alright. Oh, wow. And a donation from Winter J. Seriously? Dude, thank you, man. Hey, WP, I found you. Oh, God, I died while reading Winter J's thing. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Winter J, I will read your thing, but apparently these Royal Treasury guards do not mess around. I'm going to die. Wow. Holy crap. It's okay, because it's Guild Wars 2. It's Guild Wars 2, baby. And there's mounts now, so I can just respawn and mount back in. That's fine.
My strength increases.
Oh, well, now there's dialogue.
I'd say not Joko, but somehow I don't think it'll make a difference.
I don't know how you got past Nadije, but you won't get past me.
Told ya.
Alright, King Wasi. He shields and mobs. Right, what was this? Hey WP, I found your channel a year ago, ever since I realized that you are probably my favorite content creator. Oh, thanks, dude. I want to say thank you for all you're doing and for cheering me up every day. Have fun. I'm glad to. Thanks very much, man. That's really, really sweet of you. Very, very cool. I appreciate that very much. And here's to another year, hopefully, as well. Thank you, dude, as well. You even donated there. That's so nice. I really don't get the argument it's only an MMO and not an RPG when it comes to story. I don't think one has to exclude the other. Well, obviously not. They're both in the title. They're both important.
That barrier's not budging. Any ideas?
Canuck, throw down some mines and I'll lead him over them.
Done. I haven't blown anything up since I got here.
I can't believe that. I was actually in the middle of executing full count. I pressed it, but his packet of damage hit me way before the hammer actually did. None of these guys are rezzing either. This is obscene. All right, here we go. Thank you. This looks kind of pathetic right now, but it's mostly because I'm trying to look at chat and I can hardly see the screen anyway, so don't be too judgmental. Okay, I'm going to open with Wastrel's Collapse on that one, just because I want to ensure that I get the benefit. Mace probably isn't the best thing for story, because I don't know, unless I can get some good counter blows in. Oh, ow, 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 ow. What a knobhead. See, this is mental. Does he reset if I die, I wonder? Dodge that, because that's an emobe. How we break combat. And we just zoned his regular attack. That's kind of funny. All right. Oh, see, this is so annoying. They attack just perfectly between. Okay, where's the next mine? Canuck?
Mine down.
There it is. Will Bull's Rush just to proc peak performance
Such might.
for the Axe 5. Alright, that should be good. Come on. Hey, we landed one, finally.
I will
Can cleanse the blinds with the dodge. No, because it never landed. That's fine, though. I wonder about breaking his break bar here. We'll full counter and walk into the AoE field. Alright, he's in Vuln again. We got to wait for the next mine, don't we? Yeah. Gonna Bull's Rush. Oh, good. This is in the right direction. Oh, perfect. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen one so good. Just do this straight away, yeah. Got that as well. That's perfect. 700 damage. That's like nothing. It feels like he has retail almost. 900? What's going on? Why do I hit so low so often here? Ow. Alright, there you go. He's down. Hey WP, is there actually still a discussion video coming with you and Boots about Deadeye, or did you scrap that because of length? By the way, you blew my mind when you actually killed Casey. It made...
We seek passage to speak with the gods, and nothing more. We promise to leave you in peace if you will do the same for us.
Peace? We shall see.
It was never going to be a video with Boots. I don't know why people got that impression. It was when I was doing balance with Boots, I was telling Boots that we couldn't talk about the Deadeye thing because we had an almost 2-hour podcast already without even touching on Deadeye. I was never planning on doing the video with Boots. I talked about this on yesterday's stream as well. I don't know. I might do it. But also, thanks very much for the compliment about the LP. That's very cool. There would be the next LP episode already, except a Windows update broke my PC today, so I haven't produced anything until this stream. What is it? I'd like to know more about your time as ruler of Alona. A history lesson after you trespassed on our sacred ground and attacked my loyal subjects? The nerve! We were defending ourselves. Your subjects attacked us. So you say. Well, what is your mission? Why invade our tomb? Disrupt our existence? Well, we seek answers from the gods. Then find the answers you seek. I came into power in a time of war. Our armies were scattered, but I stood firm. I rallied the people. They came to know me as a defender of the desert. This is King Wasi. I don't know whether he was ever referenced in Guild Wars 1. I can't remember off the top of my head. Can you tell me about the Primeval dynasty? Do books not exist where you're from? The primeval kings and queens have ruled since humans first set foot upon the sands of Elona. This is kind of a cool line because it, I'm sure it's not a deliberate literary device that they're employing here, but we all know, of course, that as this story goes along, we're going to realize that Joko has destroyed history under the eyes of his very subjects, right? And these books have all been rewritten and burned and destroyed, and it's kind of cool to see Wasi talking about this, because that will become a little bit more prominent later. Again, whether they were directly thinking of that when they wrote that dialogue, I don't know. What happened to the Primeval dynasty? Ask Nalda or Dala. The rule of the primeval kings ended with them. Thought that was a typo for a second. But no. This isn't Corteria. No typos here. Yeah, these are the people that there are actually twin statues to that we will hopefully see if and when we go to the Isna Isles. You might even see them still on the world map somewhere. There was like one here and one here or something like that. Okay. So let's keep on going. Charizard 92. Thanks very much, man. How's the LP doing viewer-wise? It's doing exactly as I expected, which is enough for me to keep going with it, which I'm very happy with, so that's good. Hello, Nala and Dala.
Who dares?
We mean no disrespect.
Yet you care nothing for those who rest here. You've befouled these most hallowed grounds with your presence.
What I tell you, Canuck, you need a bath.
We only wish to speak with the gods.
We've heard such lies before. You're agents of the pretender Joko. And like the others, you must bear the consequences of your actions. The Primeval dynasty ended with us, no matter what the deceiver Joko claims. And so too will your lives expire, here in the dark.
Oh, no. Okay, let me... there's a lot I want to look at on chat, but I also have to engage my brain on this, so... Let's try and remember how this goes. Mesmer Illusionist, Twin Bond. What is the situation? One goes invuln and then... Oh, they split. We've got to cleave lots of them down here.
Counterattack.
And then she comes back. Is the other one invulnerable right now? It is. Okay, so we only have to fight the one. I have to see exactly... Oh, I cancel cast that. That was pretty dumb. Okay, that full counter's not going to land as well because they were all in the middle of that animation. It's a real shame Axe 5 reflects on Thief but not Warrior. Nope. Missed that as well. That one we should land. Nope.
Nala, they are too strong for me. I will show you the darkness that swallowed Elona.
I'm going to not attack to just regen a bit more health without needing to use my heal skill. Even though we got the Fury, Might, and Swiftness, it's better to do it this way. Okay, we can walk into that and full counter one of the procs. Packets. Ow, Jesus Christ.
Nothing works, Commander.
It's another illusion. We need to break her out of it.
Knock, lay down some more mines.
Mine down.
I love seeing Kanak's mines back, by the way. I don't know if I've talked about this for a while, but it's really cool to see his explosives come back. Last time we were properly looking at these was like during the Silver Waste, if I remember rightly. So, yeah, I really did enjoy that. Here we've got a mummy to kill. Ow, Christ, that combo of the Immobin, that was nasty.
Mine down.
Gonna pull away over here.
Nala, aid me.
So look, you can barely burst before they're just cancelled back out and you gotta do another window here. Oh god, this is bad. These are mobs. Christ. So what, do we have to kill her before she heals the other guy too much? Can we CC her?
Try me.
Come on. Good, they Chaos Stormed me. You can now heal. And now we got this lady. She's got a break, but I don't really want to pop that mark. I guess we can double dodge and get... Yeah, one dodge and get them both is what I was trying to say. Full counter? No? Fine.
What the? What just happened? She just came back.
Nala, you must
They
fight
seem to be
for
bound
us both.
together.
Divide and conquer won't work. We need to take them both down at the same time.
Come on, this is so unfair. I feel really squishy, which is strange. But they're both down.
That's enough. We cannot allow you to defile this place.
Say the word, Navajay, and we'll begin the fight anew.
Wait. They're not like Joko's raiders. They may be speaking the truth.
Nonsense. They are nothing more than thieves, just like the others.
Stay your wrath, Nala. We may be judging them too hastily.
Very well. If you can demonstrate the proper respect for this place, you may pass.
Yeah, Kanak is, I would say engineer as well, but obviously he uses a sword shield and he's definitely not a hollow. But yeah, I would say he's an engineer. They don't necessarily adhere to the same strict definitions as we do. That's like one of those weird things where it's like you're mixing up gameplay mechanics with story, in my opinion. Right, okay, finally, we can look back at chat. There was something I wanted to say. Yes, Kanak was the Heart of Thorns ending, had bombs as well, you're right. So yeah, Rain Pumpkin saying 100 gold that both statues are Joko now. Dude, you're right, that's a great idea. Or, it would be very cool to learn that they are not Joko, and they found an interesting reason as to why they're not. Like, there's some mystical magic force going on there. There's so much interesting shit that could go on at the Isna Isles. There's the Baltec stuff. It could be really good. Remember, there's that scale god as well, Moa Vukal, that's there. Or was there back then. I don't know. Right, so, yeah, let's speak to these guys. What is it she says? Is this different again? Oh, no. Here we go. So, Nala, tell me about Elona during your rule. When Darla and I were crowned twin rulers of Elona at the height of its glory, the wars of unification were long past, and would-be conquerors were now trusted allies. Go on. Well, trade flowed through the desert, bringing scholars, master artisans, and exotic merchants to our cities. The land flowed with milk and honey, and all prospered. I love this, this idea here. Go on. The Primeval dynasty had ruled for centuries. We were young and beautiful, and all of Tyria was at our feet. I like the way that they say all of Tyria. It makes you think just what reach they had, you know, and what they considered Tyria at the time. We believed there was nothing we could not do, and it was that which brought us down. How did the Primeval dynasty end then? By the way, there seem to be hints about Joko here, so listen up. She said, we say, how did it end? And she says, the Scarab Plague. This is still old lore right now, okay? This is just a Guild Wars, this is a refresher for Guild Wars 2 players about information that Guild Wars 1 players 10 years ago hopefully still remember. Nobody knew where or how it began, but nearly all in the kingdom were wiped out by it. So, again, and there was a whole quest chain about the Scarab Plague. Go to youtube.com/woodenpotatoes. You can find cheeky little series on that I made a few years back. Sorry. Go on. Darla and I were drunk with the arrogance of youth. We lived for wine and song, for the pleasures of the flesh. Ooh, baby. And there were those who wished to keep us blind. So the theory being that this was Joko who wished to keep them blind. This is many years ago, but the origins of Joko himself are very shrouded and mysterious right now. So, yeah. So what happened? When the plague first struck, we'd already been led as far astray. The people of Elona cried out for help, but we were deaf to their pleas. Then what happened? We were reviled and cursed. Some even blamed us. In the end, the plague claimed our lives as well. Thus ended our rule, and that of the Primeval dynasty. I like that they're wearing the funerary armor here, where it's like they've got half faces. I like to imagine that this is because she's got like some gnarly, grotesque, gory, like lesions and like marks and scars on her face where scarabs burst out of her skin, because she looks way too healthy to be a victim of the Scarab Plague. I know that she's a spirit, but come on. All right, and here's Darla. You've won. Now, what do you want? Tell me about Elona. Odd that you would ask, considering the tell me more about Elona Junior Rule. Odd that you would ask, considering the circumstances, but Elona was a center for culture and arts, a paradise, and yet it was not enough for us. What do you mean? We believed our birthright entitled us to more. We surrounded ourselves with beauty, slavishly sought out all that was new and different, and yearned to taste of every pleasure. So here she's suggesting they were decadent somehow, could have been the cause of Joker's creation, I don't know. Go on. It was no surprise that there were those who found us easy to manipulate. And, you know, manipulation is Joko's MO. So again, I don't really remember what a bug in the system revealed, but I don't think it revealed his involvement with this, did it? I don't think it clarified 100% that he was involved with these guys. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through chat. Chat's moving quite fast. I actually can't keep up with you guys. I'm really sorry. But for me to keep up with you all and actually demonstrate the game is going to be a nightmare today. Hey, Happy Nugget. It's good to see you. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Okay. Tell me about the scarab plague. When the plague first struck, we had no knowledge of it. Safe behind the walls of our palace, we concerned ourselves little with the lives of those outside our gates. As reports of the spreading plague began arriving, we paid little heed. We were consumed by our obsessions, being purposefully led astray by malicious counsel. And then, by the time we realized the devastation, it was too late. The palace had fallen, and so had we. Thus ended the Primeval dynasty. I would really love to come back here in Living World and be like, yo, what did you say about manipulation? Talk to me about that. I would love to come back to these guys. How can I prove to you that I mean no harm? Too long have we been forgotten, with no one to honor the memory of our deeds. Honor our bones, and I will know you speak truth. So here's Wasi. What is it? I'd like. He's got some awesome like painted. I watched Black Panther the other day. I can't believe how exotic and incredible the cast and the costumes and things were in that. It was really, really, really cool. It reminds me of that a little bit. I'd like to know more about your time as ruler of Elona. A history lesson. After you so this is the same. Yeah, this is the same. Oh, I guess this is why the icon doesn't go away, because they've coded it to go away at the end. Right. Okay, sarcophagi of Queens Nala and Dala. And we're going to press F, baby. Oh, I'm a moron. We got to go to each of them. Okay, that's fine. I was listening really carefully because I thought I could hear a sound effect or the fires moving or something, but no. Let me just go back. So thanks so much. It's good to see you, Sean. I will help you with the audio stuff soon as possible. Thanks very much for the Prime, dude. That's awesome. New Zach, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for the sub. Calic donated as well. Dude, thanks very much. Hey there. I don't have time for catching the stream lately. I hope you're having lots of fun. We are indeed. Thank you. And Arb38462 as well. 30 months. You guys are all awesome. And I think I just saw Rav in chat as well. Hey Rav, the bot is broken and it's still advertising a PvP tournament that's long done. So is there a chance we can fix that maybe? Question mark. If that'd be cool. Anyway, thanks dude. It's good to see you. All right, let's come over to this guy as well. And Tefrit, thank you. So that's them honored. And then over here, we've got Queen Nadja. By the way, another side of this that I haven't talked about that was so exciting. I've already mentioned on other formats and videos and things. But it's really cool that we actually get to enter the tomb like this. Because in Guild Wars 1, you kind of skipped that. And we were in the underworld straight away. So seeing the portal itself is brilliant. And the portal, too, is the design of the Realm of Torment portal back there, guys. It's the Realm of Torment portal.
You have shown the proper respect. You may pass into the mists.
We promise to honor the memory of your rule and to respect these lands.
See that you do. We will not forgive a second betrayal.
Oh, someone's got an eye for fun potatoes. Thanks, Blue Sakon. Getting close to 2 years indeed.
Oh, these poor spirits. Even in death, they aren't safe from Joko.
Let's just be thankful they still have some capacity for reason. Now then, there lies our destination. Are we prepared to ask our questions of the Divine?
Absolutely.
What a great instance. I really like this little moment here. You get a lot of time to just chill, learn a bit more about Elona, right before diving headfirst into the mists themselves. So there we go. We get our loot. We get some other stuff. And we get a choice now whether we want to enter the portal like this and do 2 instances back to back or leave. I'm going to click the leave button and see where we come out. Are we going to be at the entrance of the tomb or at the bottom base of the tomb? I don't know. Yeah, we're at the entrance of the tomb. That's a shame that they don't have that rigged slightly different. Okay, cool, Rav. Thanks very much for disabling that, dude. That's very cool. Yeah, the idea that Joko kind of made himself a vizier of sorts to get close. The ghost claimed Joko isn't a primeval king. Who claims he's not a... Who says in Path of Fire that Joko wasn't a primeval king? Where is that, Costage? See, I'm hazy on these details here. I know that Joko's been saying so. But who? Where is it said that Joko... Where is it a third party from that time has claimed he wasn't? Oh, Najda did just a second ago, did she? Or is that in one of the in a later thing? She didn't say that a second ago, did she? Didn't one of the ones we just fought just say that? Did they? You can demonstrate proper respect for this place. Even in death, let's be thankful they've got some capacity for reason. No, I don't see it. We will not forgive a second betrayal, they say here, but that's it. Unless it came somewhere else and it's not printed in the log properly. Higher up before you fight with them. Mine down, my down. Oh, well, no, here we've got the Primeval dynasty ended with us no matter what the deceiver Joko claims. Oh, I see. So what's going on here? I'd missed this. Okay, so just to catch everyone up to speed, basically, this line here, the queens are saying that they were primeval queens and they were the last of it. They die and that era ends. They die to the scarab plague and that's over. At the same time as they're talking about that, they're alluding to being deceived a lot. And there's also this line where they say, offhandedly, the Primeval dynasty ended with us no matter what the deceiver Joko claims. So, in a roundabout way, what they have just alluded to, but quite definitely alluded to, is that Joko probably did manipulate them, cause their downfall, and then usurped them. And after they were dead, he rose to power as Primeval King. This is actually really cool. That's very buried, but that's really cool. So, I think it is quite clear then. Was that a living Joko, or was that a dead Joko at that point? Do you think that was Joko in life? We're totally going to learn more about this in this upcoming season, guys. We're totally going to learn about this. I guess that's the idea, right? That he orchestrated the fall, and that's new lore. That's not Guild Wars 1 lore, that's new. He orchestrated the fall of the Primeval Kings. That's why now, in a bug in the system and whatnot, he's very familiar and comfortable utilizing Scarab Plague again. Yeah, and it was after the Primeval Kings we go into some other eras like Shattered Dynasty, and they describe many pretender kings, don't they? Pretenders to the throne, Joko being one of them. So I really think that the devs have done that. I think in the Guild Wars 2 writer room, they've decided that was the story. And we'll probably have Joko deliver that in a clear expository way upcoming pretty soon. You think there was Joko alive? It could have been. He could have been. So there's two ways they could go with this. This could be Joko in life. We could get a Guild Wars 1 faction style thing. Fortune teller style flashbacks. Where we get to see him alive manipulating Nala and Dala. You know, this would be really good to tie with the Isna Isles with those two statues there as well. Because you got to think of this. That means that Joko's obviously got a beef with the Sun Spears. He doesn't like them and whatnot. But if he's got a beef, a very specific beef with heroes of the past, Nala and Dala, if those were the two that he manipulated to first rise to power, and I wouldn't say that's where this all begins, but that would be a prominent story beat in his narrative, right? In his, you know, he's the hero of his own adventure. That would be like a big win for him. He probably has got a lot to say about Nala and Dala and to think about Nala and Dala. So those two statues out in the shores at Istan, he definitely would have done something with. More so than defiling Cormier statues, more so than getting rid of other things. Those two, I mean, maybe he would have even left them as they are because he just thinks they're that pathetic. He manipulated them, right? Do you think this was... And they sound very, like, hedonistic and, like, depraved. I wonder to what extent he knew them, you know? What if he was, you know, like, romantically involved with them? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Glassy Ducky, it's good to see you. I'm really glad we played this here, because that's a really, really important line. The Primeval dynasty ended with us no matter what the deceiver Joko claims. I really like that. I'm glad that you guys have pulled me up on that. I always felt a bit strange that his hatred for the Sunspears happened because of him being jealous of Cormier ascending and Sunspears gaining... It won't have been that Costage. It would have been that, well... Yeah, I don't know, because realistically... Well, no. Weren't there Sunspears there in the initial fight with Chiriosa? I'm pretty sure there were, weren't they? There was like the last of the Cornons and the Sunspears that put him in the tomb. Now the Order of Whispers was founded and watched over that tomb, yes. But Sunspears put him in that tomb. So I've got to assume it's that. It's that he lost 200 years of undeath. No, not 200 years. However many years it was of undeath. Because the Sunspears put him in there, you know. Along with Chirai. It's kind of criminal how little Chirai's had to do with all of this in Path of Fire and stuff. Honestly. Because if Joko has a nemesis, Chirai is the nemesis. And what influence has Chirai really had on this story at this point? Not much. So, I don't know. I don't think he was... I mean, it's good. He's had his look in, but they've treated him as more as an Easter egg bonus thing rather than the true dominant force he could or should be. Let's see. The Battle of Jahai. Allies. Yeah, there were loads of Sunspears. Yeah. I think that's probably what it comes back to. Yeah, the Order of Whispers was founded after he was imprisoned to watch over the tomb. Yes, that was the start of the Order of Whispers. But Sunspears actually did the fighting. Sunspears fought with Chirai. Sunspears put him on that bridge with a man that won him, beat him in one-on-one combat. We haven't been to Cormier yet. Isn't that where all that happened? Yeah, it is Lily Bloom. It is. The Chantry of Secrets, the original Chantry of Secrets is in Cormier. The Cataract of Jahai, the Fortress of Jahai, the tomb that he was imprisoned in, all that shit is huge, and it's all in Cormier, which we've not touched yet. So you guys should be buzzing for more Season 4 stuff. Season 4's got it going on. It's got the friggin' Moon Fortress as well. Not that that's got too much... I mean, it's just a cool location. Honestly. I know I haven't covered Season 4 in the way that I covered Season 3 because YouTube disabled annotations and our format's changing a bit, what with the LP, but there is a lot of really, really thrilling stuff that Season 4 can go into. Yeah, there's centaurs as well. There's that ancestor tree as well. Potential Sylvari ties in Cormier. So there is a book in Guild Wars 2 that describes how he also grew jealous of the Sunspears. Well, maybe the devs are going with that now, but I think that if you follow the character through all of his story, he's got a very good reason to hate them beyond just the jealousy, you know? Though, obviously, jealousy, I guess, is what they're running the ball with. Did you ever see the episode 2 and 3 kind of leak that was confirmed fake? And it was someone had put a ton of effort into the leak to make it look real, but it was completely fake. Yeah, I did see that. I saw Shaman talking about that. That was really cool. I almost wanted to make a video about it, but I don't like giving any exposure to leaks. I don't like the idea of someone wastes their time lying, basically, and doing all this art to fabricate this ridiculous lie. And then everybody jerks off over them. I think that's a really bad idea. So I'm not going to do a video celebrating that. But it was interesting to see. I kind of like that it happened because it's more ammo to discredit other potential real leaks in the future, which, as we all know, are very damaging. So, yeah. What sort of loser does that? I don't know. I think if you're artistically inclined and you're also interested in, like, how to manipulate people on the internet and stuff. I think I can see a lot of people doing that. You don't have to be too pathetic to do that, but yeah, I just wouldn't want to advertise it. All right, here we go, facing the truth. To the mists. No, nothing was leaked. Someone made a fake leak that looked very good.
Not as smooth a ride as I would have hoped for. Did the portal fail?
We're definitely not in the tomb anymore. It took us somewhere, but...
No sign of the gods nor our companions. We're off to a great start.
They were right beside us when we entered the portal. They can't be far.
Some pranks can be benign. For example, switching Skittles with M&Ms. M&Ms in the UK are not... Yeah, they're like Smarties to US people or whatever, right? But look, if they're peanut M&Ms and they're allergic to peanuts... Whee! Look at you! Whee! Get an allergic reaction! Have it! Ah, you idiot! That's a funny... That's not a benign prank, is it? Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. We're in the mist. This is, to me, the high point of all of Path of Fire. It does get very good right at the end, obviously, and it's extremely cinematic and great. But this is the creme de la creme of Guild Wars 2 so far. This is incredible.
You guys made it too, huh?
After a trifling inconvenience, yes. So, this is it. We're in the mists.
Deep within them. I'd know this feeling anywhere. Like cold water running down my spine. Where's Casimir?
We haven't seen her.
Looks like the human gods are playing games with us.
Come on. She's got to be nearby.
What are my thoughts on their initial plans or idea to make this the Hall of Heroes, and there would have been the hub and all of that? I remember when that came out, I did give my thoughts in full when I covered that AMA, but I agreed very much with them reining back the scale of it. I love that they didn't do the Hall of Heroes here. I love that they didn't. Save it for later. The Hall of Heroes? Come on, man. That is amazing ammo to put in the gun for later. You don't have to blow it all right now. Just going to the mists for the context of speaking to the gods is enough to blow your audience's mind. You don't have to pack it all in. Like, I think that having a little, restraining themselves a little bit, monitoring the scope, yeah, I think that was exactly the right way to do it, because these instances are damn near perfect. They are so cool. I mean, look at where we are already. This is amazing. Like, look at this. Listen to the sound design. Look at the environment we're in. Look at it's so epic and strange and extra dimensional. They don't have to do the Hall of Heroes as well. Save it. In fact, they could blow our minds 4 or 5 more times with visits to the mists and places like this before they then do the Hall of Heroes, you know? Save the Hall of Heroes. Save the Rift. Everything to do with the Rift. Save it. If they did all of that in POF, I think they were in danger of overcommitting and under-delivering. And also just finding themselves bereft of things to, you know, excite their user base in the future. So I love the way that they did that. There was a particular dev that was talking about exercising constraint, and I could have married them right there. They were absolutely 100% correct. It was brilliant. Save it, sure, but it seems that ArenaNet's gun reloads faster than an ancient cannon. I'm not sure what that metaphor is going for there. But, yeah, you know, they got so much... They got a whole other... If we're going to Cantha next, they got a whole other world of, like, mists and death and stuff to talk about in the envoys and how... And the ritualists and the idea of magic that existed on Tyria before the gods gave anything or distributed anything and all of that kind of stuff. Like... There's like a whole other side of mist travel and things that they can touch on. You know, and they can touch on Canaxai and areas where the mists are close to Tyria and blah, blah, blah. If they draw a connection between the Echo-Vowed Forest, Urgos, Pale Tree, and the Dream, they can reintroduce all that stuff, and that's kind of misty. There's so much that they can do before looking at a Hall of Heroes.
There you are, Commander. Can you believe it? Can you believe where we are right now? I can't keep my hands from trembling. Meeting the gods. Can you imagine?
Hold it together for me, Kaz.
Oh, let her have her fun. She's about to meet her makers after all. And trust me, it's a memorable experience.
And we still have to find them. Any idea where we should go?
The stories didn't mention anything beyond the portal. Only that it was a passage to the mists.
That's a great moment from Kanak there as well. I adore that. I've said this all the time. Whenever you suddenly remember another aspect of the world building in the middle of something else is fantastic. So just flirting. It's like, what's the biological equivalent of this? They just, you know, they just tickle us. They press our hot button for a second, right? And we're like, oh, that felt really good, and then we move on from it straight away. But they just remind us of Morgemoth, and it's like, oh yeah, do you remember that whole expansion about being in a jungle with all this amazing, awesome stuff? Yeah, that happened, and you're still with a guy. The fallout and ramifications of that are still affecting our characters. But right now we're in the mist in the middle of a desert. It's like, oh, that was a nice little experience, and then we move on. I love moments like that, and so yeah, Kanak talking about meeting his makers. Big ass sandstorm, scary looking, coming, blowing in. We got to walk into it now, and then they do even. I mean, visually, environment-wise, set-wise, so good.
Sandstorm is conspicuously localized. You suppose it's hiding something?
We move on in. Can we move on in? Wait, I don't remember this. What? I don't remember a sandstorm hiding something. That we did. What, did I just press F on this straight away before? Oh, I guess I did.
It's beautiful.
Look, the sandstorm's gone away.
Let's see what it was hiding.
I wonder if once upon a time that was a bigger part of the instance and they just cut it to be really short. I mean, look at how cool, guys. Oh, what a great idea. Thank you very much for the donation.
Do you know what this means?
You know I don't.
It's the sigil of the Sun Spears, a symbolic representation of the 8 virtues they most revered. We are meant to walk this path. We were set upon it by the gods. I'm certain of it.
Thank you, Ewendel, for the donation. Activate Omega Roll and Ayaya or we riot. What's Omega Roll? I don't know what that is. Ayaya I only know from a PvP streamer who, when you type !Ayaya, it has this horrendous, like, chalk grating, horrible anime girl, like, screaming in a fucking microphone, and it just makes you want to pull your teeth out. And people spam that in chat. I don't know anything more about it than that. Is that a thing beyond just there? Yeah, it's from Frostball's stream. That's what I know. I will never put that on my stream in a million years. So let's see what we got. A wedge symbol.
What have you got there, Commander?
This plate has some kind of markings etched on it.
And there's more of them carved into the stone platform as well. Perhaps they're meant to go together?
Only one way to find out.
Nature Death says time is so fast feels bad, man. Oh, dudes, I know exactly what you mean. It is a bit ridiculous, right? Thank you, dude, though. Welcome. Another month in a row. You got 13 now. Well on your way. Thanks, dude. All right, so we have this symbol here, and we got to play a game where we need to place it in to the right.
That sounded promising.
There must be more pieces of this puzzle lying around.
To the right slot. Which you can kind of intelligently do, or you can just spam it around. Iron Workshop, thanks very much as well. Gonna be so cool when we get here on the main series. I love like the hollow gongs and bell sounds. It's fantastic. Oh, I should turn on screen shake again. I turned it off while I was PvPing. No, I wasn't PvPing. What was I doing? I don't remember. That one's already in. That one's already in. This one? That one's not. So you have to go here then. Okay, that's good. Oh, we get a bit of bonus dialogue as well. Casimir. Casimir, honey. It's kind of fun to think that with the reveal of Glint, as well as Matthew Medina clarifying Morgemoth's origins, it's technically possible that the Pale Tree is a literal daughter of Morgemoth. I like the idea of more clarification on their actual relationship. I need to replay season 2 of The Living World to remind myself exactly what it was Keith learnt with Win. I can't even, I almost even forgot Win's name. What exactly Win found out and how that worked. I have to go back and replay season 2. But yeah, I'd like more clarification on that. It's just, when's the time to do it, you know? This is why when they decide to do a Sylvari-based expansion, or they decide to do a Norn one, or they decide to do, they have to do it right the first time. Because if your player base is still asking to circle back to territory that was already had the budget put on it, it's like, it's a nightmare. They have to be able to draw a line under something and say, there you go, the story's done, without the majority of lore enthusiasts constantly crying about going back to it. So it's so important that they get it right. And why it's such a success that POF did in many areas. I just know we're on the right track. Answers can't be far away. I'm not sure what to do next, we say. She says, the sandstorm hit the Sunspear sigil for a reason. Some of its points are missing. Perhaps we can locate those missing pieces. I'll take a look around. Those markings, we say. She says, I might be mistaken, but I think the same pieces match the markings on the platform. Alright. Pretty uninteresting dialogue, though. The quote is, we come from the jungle, we are meant to serve him. Was that the quote? Is that all the context we get? See, I can't even remember. Where did she get that from? What was the point of how she knew that? Win simply said, we come from the jungle, we're meant to serve it. At the time, we didn't know if the tree was supposed to be truly originate from Morty, or Morty just corrupted the seeds for later use. But the idea that Morty literally became most of the jungle could allow the trees to be his offspring. Just speculation. Yeah, the idea that he was the... I mean, come on. I don't know how we need Matthew's comment that the jungle was the dragon. That was always obvious. Anyone labouring that point has just got no reading comprehension whatsoever. There's literally a moment where Kanak says, as we are walking up near the end of Path of Fire, of Heart of Thorns, where you're walking up that spiral circly thing, where Kanak literally says, yes, the entire jungle is the dragon. We are walking on the dragon. The dragon is the whole jungle. Like, they said that so many times. For people to still be debating that is just putting your head in the sands, in my opinion. So it's amazing to me that it was even considered a revelation what Matthew said in that post. Because to me, what Matthew said in that post was a perfectly reasonable interpretation of the material that the devs have already given us, you know? What Matthew said is basically what anyone reasonable would say from having looked at everything that's there, as a fan. And he's saying that as a dev, so, you know, there's so much weight there. No, not all of the jungle is Morty, as we see in Salvation Pass, that the parts of Morty had died, compared to the pulsing purple vines with normal vegetation. I don't what are you talking about? How does what we see in Salvation Pass prove that it's not all Morty? Certain aspects of him can be autonomous and can function while... you know, disconnected or whatever, or continue to thrive even after he's gone. But, and not necessarily in a way reproductive, as we saw he tried to do with Trahearne right at the end. But I think it's still fair to say. It's obviously not a normal biological organism, but they were pretty clear. Quote from Bitter Harvest. There you go. Rain Pumpkin. You're very good with the quote. This is the quote I was talking about. Rain Pumpkin just found it. This is what Kanak says. Oh, no. It's Bram. It's Bram that says it. There you go. I thought it was Kanak for some reason. The entire time we were traversing this jungle, we were afoot on its back like fleas on a hound. That was the quote. Hey, Archie SF. It's good to see you. Replace dragon with god and you have Lovecraft horror. Being so old and massive and ancient, they can hardly be defeated. And if you do so, you destroy the universe. Oh, I walked past one of the symbols here. Rip, my bad. This is what the Morgan Vine says when interacted with in Salvation Pass. This Morgan Vine is lifeless and devoid of magic like others in the vicinity. Oh, it was Kanak. It wasn't Bram, it was Kanak. Okay, good. Again, yeah, so a Morgan Vine is lifeless and devoid of magic like others in the vicinity. Again, though, how does that mean that it's not all Morgan? Oh, is there no full damage whatsoever here on the Springer? That's an interesting touch. Place another one. And now the last one's like really high, right? Unless I missed an easy one on the floor somewhere, but I don't think I did. Is this going to be replace the YouTube LP for POF? No, 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 no. This was a project we were doing before I was sure I wanted to do the full LP. And then I wasn't going to return to once the full LP started, because the full LP will get to this. But I don't really know what I want to do on streams at the moment. So I'm doing this. It's almost like a filler stream, really. But also, I need to refamiliarize myself with this lore because I keep forgetting it as I relearn it and then forget it and then relearn it. And there's a lot of cool stuff to catch as we play. We've got a lot of very knowledgeable people and story enthusiasts in chat that can help round it out with chat. So I think it's pretty cool. Like a minute ago in an instance, I learned something new about Joko that I hadn't really caught on my first playthrough or subsequent ones. Oh, it's over there. I see it now. How do we get onto that, though? From here, maybe? Oh, there is full damage. I am so confused right now. Oh. Good thing we can glide. Yeah, PvP's fun, but it kills my viewership, so I don't really know how much I can keep doing. Here's part of Matt's comment about which suggests some function after Morty's death but being handicapped. Even if there's a kernel of its consciousness in a certain valuable host, so that when you finally destroy the last vestige of Trahearne, Morgemoth finally does meet its end. This leaves the body, the jungle divine certain Morgem behind, somewhat functional but effectively handicapped and without that central overmind to direct it. Yeah. No,
Boss,
PvP is not just
we've got
boring Zerg.
company. Say the word and I'll tear them apart.
We're still missing pieces of the puzzle. What if those spirits are a part of it?
Let's ask the spirits. Maybe they're here to help.
Okay. Hello, Giwaboo. Only in acceptance of humility can we find strength. I humbly seek counsel with the gods, we say. Then I bestow upon you the seal of humility. May it help you on your journey. Thank you. And we just get it straight away. So, this one goes in here.
The disc fits, but the markings don't seem to line up.
And now we spin it.
Try giving it a turn or two.
And then we spin it again. Oh.
The torch lit up.
You must have done something right, Commander.
Hell yeah. I spammed F, baby. Are we done here or what? I don't think so. I bet those spirits just showed up. Might know. You gotta go beat some of them up and find out, but Castle complains, so... Alright, Kanak, what do you think? Okay, he had a marker, but then... Oh, I think it bugged. Making progress, Commander? I'm still figuring out what to do with these discs. The discs have a symbol on them. Perhaps they need to be lined up. Have you tried to return them? There's all this dialogue and stuff, and it's like packaged as though it's a real thing, but really just spamming F will get you through this. To gain, one must be first willing to give. That is the true nature of sacrifice. Who are you? I am Yasafar. I am here to remind the Sunspears of the importance of meaning of sacrifice. I seek an audience with the gods. Then prepare yourself, for nothing of worth is given up lightly. All right, let's do it. Let's see how good you are.
My strength increases.
Come on. Yeah, good. He full countered me. Good. Or he procced my full counter.
Adrenaline surging.
Come on. Nice.
You have proven yourself worthy.
I also started PvP because of WP. He showed me how to do it, made it simple, and made it seem interesting. I'm glad, dude. I still want to do a series on it. I just got to get my ducks in a row properly. It would help if Windows updates didn't break things. Although this disc is the correct size and shape. Although it's the correct size and shape. Oh, here you go. The one that's glowing is the one we put it in. Now we spin that and light it up. Gundeo. To pass into truth, prove yourself. I will give you the seal of honesty. Who are you? We are the handmaidens of Cormier. My name is Gundeo, which means honesty. I'm ready for your test. While at the market, you witness your father pocketing several pieces of fruit. Okay, guys, what I want you to do is think of that guy from the start of Morrowind. While at the market, you witness your father pocketing several pieces of fruit without paying. The city guard approaches and accuses you of stealing the fruit. What do you do? Okay. What did he say? He's truth, right? Tell them that they took the fruit. You have answered correctly. Go and take the seal. Honestly uphill.
You have passed my test.
It's honestly such an easy test. Because just be honest. Be goody two-shoes. Don't answer... And what's amazing is we're not being truthful when we answer that. Because clearly the correct answer is just to take the bread and leave. Right. Zach Lem. I also like that effectively the Heart of Thorns turns out to be the giant, corrupted, ancient tree in Dragon's Stand where Mordremoth is coiled around, suggesting that Morty has become the tree as it rooted itself into the ground and spread its vines throughout Maguma. Yeah. I mean, the idea that he's the whole all the vines and everything is really scary when you think about him getting across the Shiver Peaks. I like the thought of as his vines burrow through Tyria and seek to finger their way through places that they start interacting with Primordus and his domain, and destroyers are cut. We don't realize it, but underground destroyers are hacking away at Mordrum roots, preventing them from going to certain places. I love that idea. Or maybe there's like a lone dwarf in a chamber watching it one day and they're like, something is happening. That's a cool idea, right? To pass it to truth, who are you? I am Loyalty. Okay. You are a farmer. Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah. You're a farmer in charge of working the land for your lord. A kind and benevolent man. One of your fellow workers asks you for lighter work so that he may rest sooner. What do you do? Wait. I need to think about it. What do you want? Who are you? Loyalty. So, if I'm loyal, I'll take her burden of responsibility. Correct. Go.
You have earned this.
Thank you. Oh, shit. Oh, no, no, no. I'm breaking the... Oh. Crap. I had some of those lit up, but I messed up because... Yeah, that's good, I think. Yeah. Because I started spinning ones I'd already done, so I have to fix those in a second. Compassion is both the beginning and end to understanding. You call me Verzuk. I represent compassion, one of the virtues. So are these guys actually in Guild Wars 1 as handmaidens? I don't think so. I don't remember ever hearing about her handmaidens in the original game. I see counsel. You have traveled long and far. Go then, take the seal of compassion. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. This one here. You know, Natalie, it would really help if just at some point you put it down straight away. Okay, so that's lit. So the only one I broke actually was this one here, I think. There it is.
You have persevered. The path is now open to you.
Look, a portal.
So, Casimir, when we meet more of your gods, I hope they're a little less hostile than the last one we met.
With our luck, I bet they're as crazy as Balthazar is.
Stop it, both of you. We're here for answers, and spitting in the face of the gods isn't going to help us get them. Show some respect.
She's right. If Balthazar demonstrated anything, it's that the gods aren't to be taken lightly. Let's tread carefully here. We don't know who's watching.
It's interesting here as well. Do you remember how they glossed over that Ritlock supposedly has been talking to Glint recently, and yet he still doesn't know anything about anything? Interestingly here as well, Glint interacted with and knew of the gods, the human gods. And so she clearly didn't talk to Ritlock at all about them either, because he's still just speculating as what they're like. So yeah, I really like this. Nice, slow, bit of a puzzle to do, low adrenaline, really builds up this moment where we go through the portal. What is the icon on the portal there, by the way? That's quite a curious visual effect, isn't it? I kind of want to just back up and see for you all. This here, what is this? What does this represent? The library, maybe? I don't know whether I've ever seen that icon. Is that a sun spear icon? It's clearly a sun. It's a nice graphic. Is it the sun spear icon? Oh, I see. Okay. I don't really recognize ever having seen that anywhere. Oh, it's the same as the one that was on the ground. Oh, yeah, it is. Well, sort of. It's a little bit more spirally. Like these are quite hard lines, while these ones are quite soft. But anyway, okay, all right. Praise the sun. And here it is, the biggest moment.
This place, it's incredible. The scrolls, the books, there's so much.
Yeah, it's no black citadel.
Ridlock.
Yeah, I know. Respect. Show it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Everything that they did here was perfect. It was perfect. It's so good. Even down to the dialogue. I love Ridlock like sneering at it and whatever. Here, by the way, this character is kind of interesting. So here we got Ash and Virzerk, all the guys we spoke to before, bowing to us as we walk through. And this is it. This is library with the birds that you can see in the sky are actually just books that are fluttering around. If you can see that there, these are books. So every little thing that they could have done that was awesome here, they did, and they swapped things around. If you go into the waters, you can see some of Abaddon's tentacles still around. I think there's the secret room. We got all the librarians. How fantastic. They put blinded on here, which doesn't mean anything, but...
This must be Cormier. Hail to you, goddess of truth. We need your help. Kaz, go ahead.
Thank you, Commander.
They said they almost didn't add this effect, but it means so much that they did, in my opinion.
Goddess Cormier, we have come to you seeking guidance and aid in dark times. Will you hear our plea?
Rise, Lady Mead. Please, continue.
Balthazar has emerged from the mist to bring ruin to Tyria. He's going to slay Krelkatorrik, and if he succeeds, the imbalance it brings could... You know all of this already, don't you?
Indeed.
We cannot defeat him on our own. For the sake of Tyria, Goddess Cormier, please, we beg your aid.
I'm sorry, Lady Mead. There is nothing I can do.
Please excuse me, Goddess. Perhaps I wasn't clear. We can't hope to defeat Balthazar without the aid of the Six.
Or the Five. Balthazar is one of the Six.
No, he isn't. Balthazar has been stripped of his claim and title. He is no longer one of the Six.
This is huge. That line there. Oh.
Stripped of. He's in Tyria as we speak, leading an army. He claims to be the god of war.
Come and see for yourselves. Perhaps then you'll understand.
Do I get a break now to discuss things with you guys, or is she just going to keep talking? If we...
The gods saw there could be no victory in our inevitable conflict with the Elder Dragons. Waging war with them could only lead to the destruction of Tyria. And we, the Six, would be the match that would start the blaze. And so, we chose to withdraw from Tyria altogether and spare this world further calamity. Or rather, most of us chose to.
Cowards! You may flee, but I will not. I do not avoid conflict. I am conflict. The Elder Dragons will die by my hands, and their power will become my power.
Balthazar was blinded by his pride. The dragons are beyond even the gods, a raw, primal force without equal. Whether he won or lost, by his death or theirs, Balthazar's ambitions would bring about the end of Tyria. The rest of the six, Duena, Brenth, Melandru, even Lissa, reached an agreement. Balthazar had to be dealt with.
If you won't join the fight against the dragons, I'll see you all burn with them. Cowards! All of you!
I just want to point out how incredible this instance is. You're so engrossed in the dialogue right now and thinking about all the lore and stuff probably that you don't realize all the incredible effects they do to supplement the experience. Putting that fire there, it's all perfectly timed. It's all really, really, really good.
We stripped him of his power and chained him in the mists. There he would remain forever, powerless to carry out his plans.
Mark these words. When I'm free, I will strike you all down and claim your power for my own. I will not be dismissed. I am Balthazar, mightiest of the six. And I swear to you, you will scream your allegiance before the end.
He would be there now, if not for a certain Char and his search for an old, extinguished blade.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Undo this wrong. The means are within your grasp. When he returned to this world, Balthazar disguised himself as Lazarus with Lys's mirror. The only magic powerful enough to hide the truth from our eyes. By the time the ruse was revealed, the other gods had already departed. And soon, I will join them.
You don't have to go. You could stay. Fight with us.
You asked for a war between the gods. Do you not know the cost of such a battle?
This is such fucking bullshit. They're treating you like a toddler if you buy that line.
Learned of the last time the gods stood against one of their own? Against Abaddon?
This is so it's so bad.
1300 years ago, Abaddon and his army of fanatics waged a war ranging across the shores and islands of the Crystal Sea. The battle was so ferocious that the ocean boiled away, leaving behind the desert you see today. When the gods finally struck down Abaddon, his fall warped and ravaged these lands, creating the desolation. Abaddon remained a fallen god, imprisoned for 1,000 years, until he rose to threaten Tyria one last time. A mortal hero led a mission to stop him, and against all odds, succeeded. But then...
Abaddon is breaking up!
Incredible. All that knowledge!
It's running wild! It will destroy everything!
I can contain the power!
Cormier! No!
This is the final cutscene of Nightfall, by the way. Down to every bit of dialogue. It's the exact same Guild Wars 1. That's the end of Nightfall. It's a beautiful way of doing it. That was us, that hero.
I was there to contain the damage. But by then it was too late. The surge of power upended the balance of magic in Tyria and stirred Primordus from his slumber, triggering this latest cycle of destruction. There is no victory to be found in a war between the gods. Only casualties.
I understand. But we don't have the choice you have. We have to fight.
Not true.
Balthazar doesn't care whether he destroys Tyria. He said so himself.
Please, Goddess. If there's any way we can convince you to stay.
No, Kaz. This isn't their war. It's ours.
Yes, it is.
Casimir, my dear child. You never needed our help. You were already on the path. Follow the trail of last. Restore what has been broken. The answers you seek are in the desert. I wish you good fortune, Commander. It's time. I must join the others.
Goddess Cormier, before you go.
Yes.
Thank you for everything.
You carry with you the blessings of all the gods. Never forget that.
Okay. Alright, buckle in, guys. There's a lot to talk about.
So we came all this way just to watch her leave?
Kaz, are you alright?
Just processing, Commander. What Cormier said. I was angry, confused, but it's time we stand on our own. Tyria is ours to protect. I know that now.
So, what now? Are we to comb the desert for a clue? Because, as you may have noticed, there's a lot of desert.
If that's what it takes, yes. You heard Cormier. We're on our own from here on out. So we search the desert, but we do it smart. We'll split up and search systematically.
Can do. I'd like to return to the Temple of Cormier anyway. The refugees there may have information we can use. And I've got some news to share with them, too.
Good. Canuck?
I'll head for the desert near Amnoon. I may also check in with my contacts in the Order of Shadows. They might be able to shed some light on things.
Ridlock, go with him. I'll take the Riverlands, to the south. Let's work our contacts, speak with the scouts. Anybody who might be able to help us in our search.
About that, what are we searching for, exactly?
The way forward. That's all I've got at the moment.
Well, we've done more with less. Let's get to it.
Okay. Wow. Jesus. Alright, so... Can I just say, first of all, we're going to go in reverse and discuss what we've seen here. Can I just say, and then we'll do the optional exploration afterwards. Everything that they do here, execution-wise, is perfect. You cannot criticize it. Everything is amazing, down to the showing off the Guild Wars 1 end cutscene and honoring it perfectly. I think the gender of the character is based on, like, I'm male right now, so they assume I played a male in the first game. If I came in on a female, I think they assume it would have been a female in the first game as well. Maybe they could have done some really clever Hall of Monuments stuff, but I doubt that that would have been necessary for the expansion. What they do is actually fine. Let's not go in reverse order. Let's just deal with the big issue. There's one very, very, very big issue with the presentation of the story here. And when I said they're treating you like toddlers, that's not me invested in the game and like saying the gods are treating you like toddlers, and that's not me immersed and whatnot and excited about the storytelling. That's me telling you that the ArenaNet writing team are treating you like toddlers. Does anyone know, just before I explain it, where I might be going with this? What is the one mind-blowingly ridiculous thing that they just they pretend to you makes sense, but it actually makes no sense whatsoever? Basically half of what you just heard there. And again, execution-wise, and if you can suspend your disbelief and be that toddler, it's wonderful. But there is one, like, kink that's just obscene in the halfway through this moment. I'm not treating you like toddlers, Benji. No. I'm trying to get some interaction. I'm trying to make a discussion, not just a diatribe from me. Okay, so I'll tell you what it is. Let's break this conversation into two halves. The first half is her talking all about how Balthazar has been robbed of his power. He's no longer... We'll do the deeper speculation about it in a second. But he's no longer one of the six. And he was chained up. And the war was done. And he's over. He's not one of the six. He's a whatever. It's fine. He was released. But he's not one of the six. We've taken his power. That's the first half. And then... we say, let's boil this conversation down. This is genuinely how it goes. We then say, all right, so Ritlock released him. And then Cormier says he hit himself with the Mirror of Lissa. By the time that ruse was revealed, most of us that were in the mist have now left the mist. So by the time that we realized Balthazar had escaped and hidden using the mirror, most of us are gone. Melandru's gone. Dwayna's gone. Lissa's gone. She doesn't use their names, but she says they're all gone now, so it's too late. So this is where they manipulate you, because too late for what? She says that they're gone now. By the time so we say, well, can you help us fight? And Cormier gets pissed off, and she says, do you know, blah, 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 what it would be like if gods had a fight? The entire ocean dried up. And it's all wonderful and awesome, and it's a great opportunity to tell us about the Crystal Desert lore and give us that more understanding of where we are in the world. And that's all great, and the execution is brilliant. And if you can be that toddler, then you can have lots of fun. But it's irrelevant, Cormier. I don't care about gods fighting one another. Yes, it was destructive and the Crystal Desert blew up, but you just spent half of this conversation telling me Balthazar isn't a god anymore. That you robbed him of his power. So it's irrelevant. You just spent the entire start of this, the entire point of this conversation is to do two contradictory things. One, tell you it's not a problem, you can deal with it. Two is to tell you it's too big of a problem, you have to deal with it. And you can't do that, ArenaNet. That isn't right. You haven't written a real story. And so that is what really, really gets under my skin with this, because I don't see any real out. The only logical, sensible way for this scene to have continued, for how the story was written, unfortunately, is Cormier would have had to have been an ally. The second half of that conversation actually should be Cormier saying... There's a moment here where she says, this isn't our character interjects and says, no, they can't fight. It's not their fight, Kaz. It's ours. No. Shut up, Natalie. It's not our fight. It is the gods' fight. It's their problem. Of course it's their problem. It was god magic that allowed Balthazar to hide. It was the gods that infuriated Balthazar. It was potentially, by the way, and this is to the writer's credit, Lissa might have manipulated things and stuff, and that's all well and good. It is the gods' fight. The only logical way that this continues is Cormier is an ally. And Cormier says, do you know what? Yeah, all the other gods are gone, but Balthazar's not a god anymore. Yeah, I'll help you out. I'll deal with this, because this is a little bit of a problem. Okay, let's do it. And so if you're gonna do the library scene with how you've set all of this up, this is not an acceptable way through the story. You can't. So, like, I think most people come away from this thinking, oh, the gods didn't tell us anything, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. That's like a stylistic thing. That's fine. That's not actually a plot hole or whatever. That's not necessarily bad writing. We can feel lost in this way. We can feel lost just as, like, the high point of Nightfall. We meet the gods at the Gate of Madness, and we say, please, we have to kill Abaddon, help us. And the gods don't do shit. They just say, you got this, don't worry, guys. It's in your hands. And they leave. And that's amazing, and that works in Nightfall. Because in Nightfall, we feel lost, we feel the tragedy of that, we feel the frustration of that. But we hear that crucial point, oh, we have a gift, we can become the god. And so Cormier is born, and we go into that fight blindly. That works. That can work in Guild Wars 2 also, except... that they've broken the logic here by at the same time trying to talk about how this would be oh so dangerous and spending the entire expansion talking about how this is oh so dangerous. So it's just, unfortunately, I think it's very deceptive, and I don't think it's good storytelling, unfortunately. So there's two big beats here in Act 1 and 2. One is the stuff with Sahothin that, if you take a second to look at, by my estimation, falls apart. And we've got part 3 or 4 that deals with that. And unfortunately, as amazing, and again, I'm not contradicting myself here, this is the best part of POF to me. I love the execution of this. I love that they had the balls to go for this. I love so much of this. But also this, unfortunately, has a really sincere bad wriggle there that I find too hard to swallow. So I turn the discussion now over to you, Twitch chat. What have I missed? Convince me that I'm wrong. What is the part of this that makes Cormier totally logical? So let's see. Yes, the Doctor 364 has a note here, and he says, but wooden potatoes, if Cormier did become an ally, even though that's logical, even if she became an ally, she could just go one-shot Balthazar, and there's no tension anymore, and they can't do that. You're absolutely right. You're right. Obviously, they can't do that. That is the problem that the writers have. Absolutely. That's why they manufacture this facade to make you think that there's some cohesive story going on in order to get her off screen, because they can't have Cormier with you. That you're right. That's the end of the story. So they can't do that. So they try and worm their way out, and this is their worming. This is what they do. Two halves of a conversation that do not make a whole. Yes, you're right. I mean, I never said that out loud, but we all understand that, right? Yeah, that wouldn't be compelling either to have her one-shot him. So, I mean, but maybe... So, what I'm saying is just the way that they wiggled isn't the right way to wiggle, I don't think. I think that they've missed the beat somehow. If there is no satisfactory explanation, how would I have handled Path of Fire? Knowing that this conversation doesn't work whatsoever? Maybe you could have found a way to have Cormier ally with us, but manufactured something that depowers her? Maybe the entire thing about Rytlock in the Mists needed a different tack completely that accounts for what Rytlock was doing, it accounts for the reclamation of the sword, and also works out this wriggle at the same time. Maybe there was like a whole other way of writing this that also could have explained why Cormier is weaker, and also maybe why Cormier is the last one in the Mists and all the others left first. The Lissa manipulation stuff can cover this to an extent. And I'm really excited to see what they do with Lissa. And they've got all those beautiful lines in here, like, even Lissa was convinced. And the idea that Lissa somehow devolved Balthazar to this raging lunatic of an antagonist that's no longer prideful or honorable or intelligent. They can do Lissa to resolve all of that. But Cormier refusing to help us? I don't know any pre or post way the devs can fix this in Guild Wars 2 storytelling. I really don't. Alright, I'm reading chat. Balthi is still super powerful despite not being a god anymore. The point isn't that gods means bad stuff. The point is that strong dudes fighting is bad. Okay, I see your logic. But does that actually mean Cormier made the right so hold on, so but you're saying no, it doesn't work. I see your logic, you and all, but it doesn't work, because basically what we're saying here is like, even whether Cormier can go toe-to-toe with him or not is kind of irrelevant, because here's the facts of the matter, and it just doesn't make sense on this level either. There's a crazy rampaging dangerous god out there. So what if you have to produce cataclysm to fight him? He's going to do that anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh no, I don't want to create another Crystal Desert type situation, so I'm going to let you all die and have Tyria be destroyed because Balthazar is going to slay the Elder Dragons and throw magic out of whack, which is the entire reason we were leaving in the first place, and he's kind of undermining our efforts, perhaps leaving to go somewhere else in the mist. It makes no sense. It's like saying... It's literally like that joke video that the guy made, where Cormier is like, fuck it, I can't be bothered with this, I'm out. Me and the other gods, we've decided that we found another place outside of the mists, beyond the system, and we're just going to work on that, so peace. Yeah, I just can't be bothered. That would be more believable, genuinely more believable, and actually quite a compelling, like, slap in the face as well, really. Imagine if they did that from a story standpoint. If Cormier was just blatantly a bitch, and she was just like, yeah, he's not a real god. It would be pretty bad if I fought him. We'd probably destroy a lot of Alona doing that kind of conflict, but I could probably beat him. But I gotta be honest with you, lads. I got my own thing going on. We got DIY happening on another planet. We've destroyed a few planets in the past. Tyria is just the next on the list. It didn't work out. Sorry. We're finding a planet without Elder Dragons and where magic's a little bit more satisfying. I'll see you there, maybe. Guild Wars free. Peace. And then she just leaves. That genuinely might have been a better way to go about it, because it's like, holy crap, Cormier's a bitch, and everyone, there's some unity in that. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't buy. I don't buy that she won't help. So it's why won't she help? Because Balthazar's too strong, but also not too strong. Scrolling down. There's lots of chat here, guys. I just want you to know that just because I can't respond to your chat, it doesn't mean I'm not reading furiously and you're not fueling discussion with other people. So I hope you feel good. Continue to post nonetheless. Liberamentis, thanks for the sub. Also, by the way, I'm obviously speaking quite passionate about these. It's not that I hate the game or anything. I quite like the discussion that we can galvanize from it, though. Why not something in relation to Cormier versus Kraukatorek? She was worried she was in the field. It was all both of them. Yeah, I mean, we don't even really get any discussion. We don't take this opportunity to talk about the Elder Dragons at all, really. Which is another side. There is a possibility they make the story work, even though it would have ended with Cormier one-shot in Balthazar. Plot would be to lure Balthazar into some desolate location. Yeah, I think that they could have wiggled it, that Cormier... Look, there's other dangers... So just to talk about the idea, what if they had actually... What if they hadn't deceived us and treated us as they did? And just accepted us to swallow this conversation, right? What if they actually did say, well, look, the only real way, if Tyria was a real living, breathing place that followed rules and logic and characters acted intelligently, the way we've written this story so far is it's driving Cormier helps our character out. So let's talk about that. They get in a meeting room and they write a story where Cormier actually allies with us. The danger of that is not actually, in my opinion, it's not about Cormier one-shotting Balthazar. You can manufacture all this other stuff about, then the game Path of Fire becomes about how to lure Balthazar out to be in a position where he can be one-shot. Lysa's mirror could be used more and it could be about deceit. And so you can have a great campaign and story about that, where the player character is still a thing. I think the actual danger of having Cormier be an ally, narratively speaking, is... I think it was Connie was talking about this in one of the AMAs. If you spend too long with the gods, they are not as... It's not a real god as well. Balthazar's not a real god, so they can worm their way out of it. He's a depowered god. So they don't lose that mystery and that... If you spend too long with Cormier, her majesty, her mysteriousness, her epic factor melts away. The more you get to talk to her and pry her, either the crazy, more stressful lore bombs that have to start coming out, or they have to really start making her very ignorant of things, and she becomes way too human, and she loses what's so exciting to be about human. You cannot afford to do that. You can't afford to make Cormier human, and not in that way. Because then that guts the excitement of meeting Dwayna and Melandra and stuff, because it's like, oh, well, that's just a bit like meeting a Lagos or whatever. Do you get what I mean? So... That's the actual danger of having Cormier be an ally. So you have to... How does Cormier be an ally but also not interact with us much? And you could maybe do a thing where it's like... She says, I will help you when the time comes, hero. Believe me, I'm always watching. However, I cannot leave the library, for it is under siege by the realm of torment. And then you have to explain all that other shit, and it will get so heavy, and it's like, oh... Just so she can swoop in at the last moment. So, I don't know. Oh my god, there's a lot of chat. Just me trying to explain one side of the conversation, I stop reading and it scrolls like mad. Balthazar could have used the dragon's powers to lock the gods away and force them to leave. Yeah, so Eundor says Cormier knew that the mortals had the tools to fix the situation themselves. So then there's this idea is like Cormier as the goddess of truth, is there like some sense of the gods being prophetic. And they're like, I'm not going to come and help you because... I know you've got this. And she kind of says something similar to that. Which takes us into some other areas of discussion right at the end. But I think if really that's what it was coming down to, that needed more emphasis in this conversation. And maybe that's the fault of this conversation. I think that's a good point of wiggle room, Eundor. You got pretty close there. Maybe that satisfies us. On the other hand, Cormier could just say that she can't appear in Tyria because she emanates magic and dragons would hunt her down. That's a cool bit. That's a cool idea as well. They could have and should have done that. That's an interesting one. Cormier is blind. She can't help us. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think really... So there's this idea. Cormier knew that we could do it. We're going to struggle, and there's going to be fatalities, and there's going to be sadness, and there's going to be a lot of anger and anguish and hate, and you know, and let me just be clear. All right, if Cormier knows that we've got this, okay, you have to also accept that we got this? Can I just remind you what happens at the end of Path of Fire? Do we got this, guys? Seriously, that's grammatically correct, I'm telling you now. When we defeat Balthazar, what happens? Can someone remind me again? What happens? Okay, we feed our little baby dragon a bit of magic, yes, and we turbocharge an elder dragon. Cormier knew that we got this, did she? Cormier knows that? She's cool with us doing that? Yeah, that was all according to the plan, Cormier? So, I mean, I really think the only way that the devs get out of this scot-free is they have to make Cormier an unflinching bitch. They have to point out that Cormier does not care. They have their new project and they're out. Peace. That I really think, and they just thrive on how gut-wrenching that is and horrible that is for people like Cormier and the humans, and really make those humans feel alone. And it doesn't being dispassionate doesn't necessarily make all the Pantheon villains, but it doesn't make them particularly nice. But I really think that would have been the best way to get out of this library instance. And just confirm what Ritlock says right at the start, that, you know, maybe they don't care. Like at the start of the instance, Ritlock says it, you know, and just to have that punch us in the gut. I think that might have been the way, because that's a powerful thing to do, and it accounts for just this foolhardiness. Just a tiny bit more exposition on the fact that they're leaving the Mists to go work on something else, and this is not interesting. I guess maybe the devs are scared of writing that as well, because they don't want to reduce the impact of the Elder Dragons. If they bluntly point out the gods are leaving the Mist to do some DIY on a new planet, if they bluntly accept that fact and point that out, what they also do in tandem is undermine the Elder Dragon threat, because, and I said this during the conversation, let me scroll up, because there's another thing floating around here that they also gloss over. It's not as big a crime of the logical issue, but there is another crime here. Let's see it. Here. Cormier says, there is no victory to be found in a war between the gods, which is complete nothing. That's untrue. She says there's only casualties to be found there. Oh, and there's not casualties from giving an Elder Dragon that magic, right? Or causing an imbalance, you fool. Anyway, that line will move over. Here, listen to this. Natalie says, and it's again, they did this in Heart of Thorns. Have you noticed it's the really like questionable lines that they have the player character emphatically state just in the hopes we'll buy it. But listen to this. They did this with Heart of Thorns as well, with the, well, we should go to the Mist to defeat Morgemorph, duh. It's like, oh, go into the dream, and that just gets manufactured out of nowhere. But that's Heart of Thorns. Sorry, I digress. Listen, Natalie says, there is no victory to be found in a war between the gods, only casualties, says Cormier, sorry. And then we say, I understand, but we don't have the choice you have. We have to fight. That's what Natalie says. And when that read out in the conversation, I questioned that. I queried that out loud. So I query that again to you now, Twitch chat. We don't have the choice the gods have? Really? Well, why not? You remember when the Fractal trilogy was coming out and they had Ark? They never did this story in the end. It turned out that wasn't what Ark was doing. But the idea that Ark was building a sanctuary in the Mist from the Elder Dragon cycle. Why don't we have that choice? If Cormier thinks it's so bad, take us with it. You know, if I actually could speak, if this wasn't Natalie, if this was Wooden Potatoes in the library, this conversation would have gone so differently, because I would have been like, why not? All right, I'll come with you. Okay, I want to put I want to put some of my Norn buddies, and I want to go into the Mist with you. Let's build a new home. Let's go. Let's do it. Utopia, bitches. Let's go. I'll bring some good chefs. You know, I can bring 100 of my best Norn. We will restart civilization. We'll bring the spirits of the wild. It'll be fantastic. Let's do it. I mean, and you might think, well, practically speaking, how would that happen, WP? We're dealing with gods. They are architects of worlds. Or at least they find worlds and build them up. These guys have the power to do stuff like that. You're scared that someone's going to die because we're on Tyria. We've got all this life on Tyria that's in this unending, horrible oblivion cycle. Fine. Let's move on. So, like, you know, this conversation could go, and they gloss over it very quickly. And then they top it off here. Balthazar doesn't care whether he destroys Tyria. He said so himself. Do you know what? I think the best way to write this is Cormier doesn't care. Lyssa doesn't care. Melandri doesn't care. Dwayne doesn't care. And some of it can be addressed maybe with Lyssa. I think if they take that tack with Lyssa, and Lyssa just quite blatantly, bluntly does have that going on, they might be able to, like, wiggle around a bit more. You guys want me to read the journals and stuff? Ewendor says, Cormier. Oh, that's ages ago. I don't know whether he's actually listened to my response to that yet. Oh no, Ewendor is still going on about the sword. Yeah, but we had the means to deal with Balthazar using the sword, but not in a scenario that was conducive whatsoever to Tyria. And even if we had that, my point is there was still loss with the small victory we had. There is nothing stopping Cormier from coming with us. It's not a full solution, Ewendor. I've given you the credit that it's a partial solution. It's nearly there, but it's not a satisfying solution, but anywhere near where it should be. Are you assuming Cormier would survive against Kralkatorrik and other dragons potentially attracted? I'm not making that assumption because the game doesn't establish that as a potential thing going through Cormier's mind. I love it as a fan theory. I really like the idea that Cormier can't help us because elder dragons would be attracted to her. That's a great answer, and I really think the devs should have gone with that. But because that doesn't exist in the cutscene, it doesn't... We can't say, oh no, it's good writing because we can imagine to fill in the holes. Do you know what I mean? We can to a certain extent, but that's not expressed anywhere that Cormier is sad about that. I think it's a great answer, though. Alright, you guys want me to go to the journal. Everyone wants me to go to the journal. Okay, so the hidden room. Let's do these books down here as well. The Book of Secrets. Continue reading. Wait, why am I getting achievements for this again? Oh, this reset ages ago, didn't it? When they updated something. Oh, guys, I can't do this all on this stream. We're going to have to come back to the library. How can I leave this instance but come back really quickly? Does it say complete? Facing the truth. Step through the portal and return to Tyria. If I log out of this, can I come back in and witness the cutscene again tomorrow for tomorrow's stream? The pages are filled with text, but the words seem to fade as you try to read them. So we won't do that. We'll go to the secret room, though, because you guys are going to be excited about that. All right, I have to scroll through so many messages here. No, because Tyrians haven't invented rocket ships yet. Ewendor's on full defense mode of the story here. He's doing a good job. That plan makes the Norn the Messiah. It does, Z-Fruit Bat. It does. That's a very good comparison there. WP constantly ignoring Grenth. Yeah, I keep forgetting Grenth today. I don't know why. Probably something to do with the underworld. I don't know. Having just come up and now I'm like... I don't know. I don't know why I'm forgetting Grenth. Oh, that's an interesting idea. That line is referencing the choice that only mortals can make. It seems that in Tyria, mortals have a level of free will that the gods do not. That's really interesting as well, Protoss boss. If they did that in Guild Wars 2, if they touch on that a little bit more, that's a beautiful way of even discussing a bit of a plot hole in Guild Wars 1, where, again, that's a little bit aloof and not fully compacted and grounded, that story of, like, what do you mean the choice that only a mortal can make? It's, like, inferred that only a mortal can take a god's power, but why and like what the circumstances are there exactly, and this nebulous idea of is it a discussion of free will when it comes to gods. I really like that. Maybe Guild Wars 2 can hit both birds with one stone. Not that many people care about the Nightfall side of stuff anymore, but I do. Yes, if you log out, you begin all things after the puzzle. Really, that's great. That means tomorrow we can do this again, and we can see what we think again, and we can watch it in action. So here's the Abaddon tentacles. Don't forget, this was the Realm of Torment. Ah, there's so much amazing shit in this instance, guys. So cool. There is no Grenth, only Doom. Yeah, and the Menzies side of things as well. Oh, there's so much juicy territory for them to continue on with here. I wonder how the living world will deal with this. And it's almost impossible to think of how Cantha would deal continue tying up these stories, you know, if that's the next expansion, or the Blood Legion Homeland. I mean, somehow I love the idea of a char-oriented expansion, giving us a ton of god lore, for obvious reasons. Journal of Cormier. Listen, guys. Knowledge is a protein thing, ever growing and expanding. My librarians work ceaselessly to record it all and keep it in order. There's a living record of everything that ever was. We can do no less. The end of my time here approaches, and I find my thoughts straying. Perhaps Lissa was right to mock me for lingering behind. The destruction of Tyria is inevitable. Yet there is a part of me that still remembers what it was like to be mortal. What it is to hope. So, this shines more... This is more along the whole Cormier doesn't care. Like, she says, oh, you can deal with Balthazar. In Cormier's own words, destruction of Tyria is inevitable. It really does paint an underlying picture that the real reason is she doesn't care. Maybe we're in a situation here, guys, where that conversation doesn't make any sense. We know it doesn't make any sense. The player character in the moment doesn't realize that he's just been verbally manipulated and has been sold a lie. The player character doesn't realize it, but Cormier realizes it. The writers realize it. And even once they read this journal, the player base realizes it. And maybe that's the world we're living in, where the truth really is Cormier is basically just fobbing us off because she thinks the destruction's inevitable anyway. So who cares whether it's with Balthazar or whether it's when Balthazar dies and Kralkatorrik gets turbocharged and blows everything up. It's inevitable. We have to leave. You know, maybe... And so she's essentially selling us this story to just get out of giving us a real answer. And it really is just like, I'm leaving. And if we are living in that world, I'm not angry with the story, whatever, I think that's okay. But if we are living in that world, I really think the devs could have cut out the middleman. And instead of being a bit fluffy about this, just been bang on the money straight away. Have Cormier be very... She's the goddess of truth. So what an excellent opportunity to have her be cold, brazenly stone blunt about the entirety of the situation. The goddess of truth sits us down and tells us some hard truths. You guys are fucked. I'm out. That would have been a nice way to do it, I think. I find parts of me straying. The destruction of Tyria is inevitable, yet there's a part of me that still remembers what it was like to be mortal, what it is to hope. I hate to leave my homeland, my people, and my memories behind, but I am no longer a spear marshal, no longer a citizen of Alona, no longer human, and my responsibilities extend far beyond this world. Like, she's got multiple worlds on her mind, guys. And yeah, the idea that Cormier mocked her, like, if Cormier is trying to make us feel good about the fact that the world's being destroyed or whatever, and lying, the goddess of truth is lying to us. Despite the fact she thinks that destruction is inevitable, she can't bring herself to say it. If she's in that situation, Lissa is full on, both her middle fingers are up, flipping the double bird at you right now. She's mocking Cormier for having compassion towards Tyria. That's great. I can't wait to see Lissa. She's my favorite, man. Lissa's so cool. Liz is flipping the bird as she jet skis off into the distance. So there's a ton to read and write and look at, so we'll deal with that later. What were some other minor points that I wanted to touch on here? The sword was mentioned. I think this would have been a good opportunity for the end of the game if Cormier had said Balthazar's sword. That's all. They just need extinguished sword of Balthazar. If they'd just done that and been 100% clear right then and there in this crucial instance, Sohothin is of Balthazar, very bluntly, I think that would have done a lot for most of the player base at the end of the game, explaining how Sohothin is so strong and can take out Balthazar. They gloss over this bit here of Season 3 as well, that window where Balthazar got the mirror. And then the comment as well, even Lissa as well. So there's the hints to Lissa in full force on this one, which I'm very excited about. Sometimes I realize how much of a nerd I am. What are we doing here? This is like the nerdiest possible thing a human can do with their free time. We're like critiquing a fucking story thing. Oh, I love my life. What else we got? I don't know. So many things struck me. I guess they'll strike me tomorrow when we rewatch the cutscene. I love how, by the way, they do manage to infuse exposition about desolation and expansion territory stuff right here. I love the way they do that. So much of this works perfectly. It's so good. The Tomb of the Primeval King segueing immaculately into the mist, segueing immaculately into exposition about the desolation, which we'll be visiting very soon. It's all in the same region. It's so good. It's really expertly done. But yeah, this last bit here, I must admit, I'm a little bit lost. The very last bit. Cormier tells us to restore what has been broken. I'm going to be a total noob here. What's broken? What are we restoring that's broken? I'm actually that foggy on the details for the end of POF. I can't remember. What is she telling us exactly here? And when she says, we were already on the path, follow the trail of last. What is she actually telling us? The Trail of Last leaves us to Glint and Glint's legacy and Glint's plan to replace Elder Dragons with fresh Elder Dragons. Glint's plan is to stop Tyria's doom. While in Cormier's journal, she seems to have accepted Tyria's doom. So if Cormier's accepted Tyria's doom, when she tells us to follow the Trail of Last, she's not talking about Glint, surely. Or do you think there's still that tiny part of her that think Glint might have been onto something? I wonder if there was like an amazing conversation at some point between Glint and the gods, where the gods hear about Glint's plan, but they turn their back on her, and the gods are just more pessimistic than Glint was, and the Exalted and whatnot were. I wonder. Restore what is broken. Restore the thing that had replaced. Yeah. So Branny Mond says here, when back to the restore what is broken line. Cormier wasn't talking about the spear there, was she? If she was, that would be fascinating and cool. But this is such a small line in an increasingly distant story instance that I doubt that's really what she was doing. But the idea that she says restore what is broken is she's cryptically trying to explain that we messed up a minute ago when we destroyed the spear. That would be amazing. That, of course, if that is true, that raises the question of why is she being cryptic? Why wouldn't she tell us to restore the spear? What's she telling us to restore? Restore Magdea? Restore Lys's mirror? Because we do none of this stuff. What do we restore? Woody, do you even know what good writing or story, bro? Because you don't. Thank you, dude. I guess I don't. I was told in chat that I don't, so that must be over. Thanks very much for the sub, the Disturbed Angel. That's very nice of you. Restore what is broken. Not necessarily the spear, but the power to replace an Elder Dragon. Restore the truth, question mark. It's just very strange where she's very blunt about things, and then she's cryptic here at the end. And we don't put her up on it. Maybe she means a loner. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm glad that there's no actual concrete answer to this, because I didn't remember there being a concrete answer. Restore the balance that has been broken. That's cool too. Do I make the face cams with the potatoes myself? 90% of them, yes. And then Casimir thanks her. Ha! Casimir, sweetheart, you've got no idea. What are you thanking her for? Yeah, the restore what has been broken line, if it's referring to Sahothin, is hilarious because it's already been restored. Restore Vlast. I'm gonna need some extra strong revive skills. It's okay, I've got Rebirth. It's got a long cast time and it will ruin my energy, but it will teleport you to my location when I cast it, so we can do it without aggroing all the mobs that killed you, and that means Kralkatorrik will stay away. We can nurse her back to health and we'll be good. Trust me, guys. I learned this very early in Prophecies. That's a strong resurrection ability. I also have this spirit skill that when it dies, it will revive all of you. I do love this hint of other worlds as well. That's so fascinating to me. Who does the other 10%? Fans. If anybody submits one, I'll put it on stream. So a few fans have submitted sometimes. Now, okay. Oh, yeah. The last thing. Way back up. First half of the conversation. Lady Casimir. Please excuse me, goddess. Perhaps I wasn't clear. We can't hope to defeat Balthazar without the aid of the 6. Ritlock. Or the 5. Balthazar is one of the 6. No, Cormier. No, he isn't. Balthazar has been stripped of his claim and his title. He is no longer one of the 6. Natalie. Stripped off? He's interior as we speak, leading an army. He claims to be a god of war. Come and see for yourselves, says Cormier. Perhaps then you'll understand. We the gods saw there could be no victory in our inevitable conflict with the Elder Dragons. Blah, 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 blah. So, is there already a new god of war? They beat up Balthazar. It happened in the mists a while back. It was all hunky-dory. At some point in the 250-year gap, they did that. Good stuff. Who stepped up? Candidates? His name is Menzies. Comes from Ewendel. Kratos. Come on, guys. Seriously now. Who's the new god of war? I don't know. I think this is really, really, really exciting and interesting. And it happens in the first half of the conversation, and once again is all glossed over. What's really amazing to me, though... Now, I don't know. I might be wrong about this. But... in this library, there are 16 different cryptic books dealing with different stuff. Now, if this plot point... this is glossed over, clearly glossed over in the conversation. The writers must have thought of this, though, and the ramifications of this. They must have thought of this, right? Now, it might just be me. I don't know. But I feel like if I was one of the writers and I had put this into this story step and I had known that this was going to get glossed over and there'd be no time to pry about in the actual conversation and you didn't want the player base to think about it too deeply just yet, but it was going to become relevant later, I can't help but think one of those 16 books would allude to that absolute bombshell. Just to reinforce for the lore enthusiasts that yes, it's something worth thinking about and that we, the writers, have thought about it too, and keep it in your minds. Don't you think one of the 16 books would have touched on that fascinating idea there, that there is actually another god already? And yet, as far as I remember, that's not a thing, is it? None of the books do that? Ever? Anywhere? So I wonder whether so that causes me to lose confidence. I wonder whether the devs actually did think about what they were writing there, and whether they are interested in telling the story of another thing. But we do have this interesting book at least. Journal. This book is unreadable. The letters are familiar, but the order make no sense. Perhaps it's some sort of cipher. Was this ever figured out by the community? What about God of Peace? Just like Cormier became truth, not secrets. That's an interesting idea. Desmina is not the god of death. She didn't take a god's power. She beat Doom, who was a fallen god wrestling free, and yes, powerful, but not a god. She would have to defeat Doom, Grenth, to become a full-on god. She has one domain of the underworld at least. I don't know, WP. Listen to the dialogue carefully. It seemed like it was an underlying tone to quickly brush the gods aside because they didn't want to develop that facet of the game. They just wanted to be done with the gods. I agree with you, Bayo Bomber. That is 100% what it feels like with Path of Fire, which isn't new, by the way. If you're mad at that, you don't get to be mad at Path of Fire for that. You don't get to deduct points from Path of Fire because that's Guild Wars 2, boys and girls. Guild Wars 2 decided it wanted to move away from the gods. That everything that Path of Fire did reinforced what was written there in the movement of the world. You don't get to have a hissy fit about it just because it's, you know, I mean, you should be happy that this expansion continued to circle around this territory. But it's nothing new. Like, people got angry at their direction here, but the direction is emphatically nothing different to what we've been told the whole way, I think. Okay, no, Cossage, don't interpret what I just said that the gods will never be back in the story. What I'm saying is that the emphasis on the god as a part of a broader product, they are not the be-all and end-all. And they are, as far as Guild Wars 1 was emphasizing them compared to how Guild Wars 2 emphasizes them, yes, they are done. And what Path of Fire did was a continuation of that. Yes, we can still see more god stuff, as we obviously did with the Hall of Chains. And yeah, I think they will come to list of stuff. I'm not saying they're just going to drop the idea of ever referencing or breathing a god again. That's obviously crazy. But what I'm saying is, are they going to become the foremost focus in some exceptionally profound, shattering way that it differs from what Guild Wars 2 set out to do? I don't think so, no. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm sure there's been interviews with Jeff Grubb about it, right? He was one of the main world builders and guys that would have been responsible for that emphasis shift. Jeff came on when Nightfall was being created. So Jeff was like a big architect of all the Nightfall stuff you see that they're coming back to. Someone in chat, come back to this journal. Was this ever figured out? Is this like a big mystery for Guild Wars 2 still? I remember seeing this when it came out and thinking, oh, there might be little clues or stuff elsewhere. I'll have to look at all the other stuff. I'll have to get the Griffin and return to the library and see if that explains it. But as far as far as I remember, they haven't looked at this, have they? Oh, the secret room has the cipher. And then what? Yeah, this is like a mini achievement to get this, right? But what does the journal say in the end? It's still a mystery, right? Well, the journal, it just hints at something. It was an Order of Shadows journal left there. It definitely hinted at something, didn't it? Where was the cipher? Catalogue by genre, Journal of Cormier, Palace of Bones, The Centaur Tragedy, Untitled volume? Man, this place is so exciting. This book has no titles. It's filled with tables of letters and numbers. Cipher key. You found the cipher key. Perhaps it could be used somewhere. The librarian says, "What do you want, mortal? Enjoying the secret room? Cormier always did like to reward those willing to get their hands dirty in the pursuit of knowledge. Did you know Cormier was going to leave? She did tell us, though I didn't realize it would be so soon. I should have butted in the library. It's so easy to go on thinking you have all the time in the world. What do you do now that Cormier's gone? Carry on. This library stands for anyone who ever cared to learn and grow. It honors Cormier, but also her people and all more." Yeah, I can imagine this dialogue being very useful if they had turned this into a permanent hub. What is this place? The private library. While all the sanctum is hers to command, this area is where her favorite collections go. Or was it going to be the Hall of Heroes was the hub? I can't remember. One of them was going to be the hub. All right, so yeah, we get the cipher. But even with the cipher now, we read the journal and it's a continued mystery, right? So let's go back. Let's refresh ourselves on that. I don't remember what it says, but I do know that it leaves you scratching your head. And what I'm wondering is if that head scratching may be that little nod to the idea of a new God of War, which you would have so expected them. 16 books, 16 opportunities to do some tiny little nod toward it, and they just didn't anywhere. So that's what I'm curious about right now. This would be a great guild hall. This is the kind of guild hall, though, that I think is too much. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a stick in the mud with stuff like that. Maybe they should let people have this as the kind of... But I want to preserve the fact that this is supposed to be special, is what I'm saying. I'll bend to like a Super Adventure Box guild hall, and I'll bend to anywhere on Tyria, like Claw Island, which I go on and on about. But this place, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure I did already talk about this in my content, but as I said, I've forgotten. I forget Path of Fire lore so quickly. This book's unreadable. Use the cipher key from the secret room. Updated entry. I've still not received a response from my handler. I'm switching to writing in code because I don't know if this will ever reach my superiors. I've been attempting to reach my contacts whenever I can get away from my post. They tell me there's conflict growing within the Order of Whispers. My handler contacted me. She says she's joining a group called the Order of Shadows, and I should leave my post and follow her. I've learned that the Order of Shadows is a structured resistance against Palawa Joko. I'm taking my handler's advice and leaving my post to join the new order. So, hold on. This is a journal from an Order of Whispers agent before that faction fractured and split into a Tyrian branch. Here we go. Oh, interestingly, the mists are here. Oh, guys, look, this is why we don't have an Ebonhawk map. I'm south of Ebonhawk, guys. Whee! So basically, at the time that the factions split and half went for Palawa, half went for Elder Dragons and whatnot, at the time that happened, an Order of Whispers agent had infiltrated this library and was learning things. Do you think this is going to have a lot to do with Kirito? This is clearly a different mystery altogether. It's not to do with the god. This is still a mystery, though. What if they made Claw Island into an instance GVG arena? I think it's got that big open space for GVGs. That would be cool. Yeah. I mean, this is just game mechanics. I don't actually think that the library is here, obviously. It's just game mechanics. So maybe it's something to do with that. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a crazy, profound thing to think about, too. That's Season 4 territory, without a doubt. I'm really thrilled with that. There's also, like, mini-mysteries I feel like I could do in Path of Fire. Introducing Guild Wars 2 mini-mysteries? The journal? The this? I don't know. Like the Lone Eye stuff from Episode 1 that paid off in Episode 2 would have been a good mini-mystery as well. This is a collection of all writings from history. The original copy wasn't physically left there by an agent. Ah! Oh, Tristita is saying that this library has just replicated all writings ever. So, no, the library wasn't infiltrated. It's just that. But then why is this hidden behind a game mechanic where they've added a cipher that can only be found in the hidden room in the library? Why have they gone to that extra level? Order of Shadow. I definitely do think they're setting up the Order of Shadows as villains, by the way. That's a whole other side of the game. But yeah, I do think they are. Sorry. How many active players does Guild Wars 2 have? Thousands and thousands and thousands. More than enough to feel like an active game. It's an irrelevant question. There's tons of people that play this game, and it's a very active, thriving play. It's in its heyday of PvE content. It's a great time to start playing, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd recommend you play it. It might be difficult with the story. There's this thing called Season 1, which is a lot of crucial plot that the devs don't have. Crucial in that it's your first introduction to a lot of characters that isn't even in the game. And I'm just hoping that the devs add it one day. But it's still pretty easy to follow the plot. Yeah, Keto's got a lot of stuff going on. The Order of Shadows are just dodgy, basically. A great place to go, if you want to see how dodgy they are, is sit about in the Darklands, speak to everyone, listen to the ambient dialogue. I can't remember exactly what it said there, but I remember the first time I was distinctly like, I don't know about these dudes, was at the Darklands. Wiki currently has a summary of them that says they play all angles, but the Wiki is just players, so you can't cite that. But yeah, they've seemed dodgy so far. That rather than just being about defying Joko, isn't there like some suggestion that they actually let Joko continue to exist just to sow discord so they can continue getting an upper hand? Or it's something like that. There's like some weird, like fairly rank things going on. What year do you think that journal is from? Well, if it's to do with the splitting of the orders, I would guess somewhere in the most recent 250, but they might have narrowed that down a bit more. Maybe there's explicit details about when the two fractured away somewhere in Path of Fire that I forget right now. To keep trespassers from learning something they don't need to, or maybe the librarian took the cipher to read a few books. But why there's one journal? What is so important about this? Unless it's like the Order uses ciphers to obscure their own text. Oh, I think we could justify this in lore in that everything the Order of Shadows writes, or Whispers writes, is ciphered. We know that from Corteria. There's loads of ciphers and using Corteria and spy and espionage, stuff like that. So it's all like that, and it's just that the secret room has the cipher because there are other journals written by these orders that is really important information or something, so they hide the cipher in there or something. Alright. Okay, apparently Jebro's doing a tournament, so there you go, guys. I will be back tomorrow, so thank you very much for coming to the stream. It's been lots of fun. More story. We'll be back in this room. We'll do that cutscene again. We'll see what we think again about this story as it comes up. I am going to host you over now to the Jebro Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, which is a big, competitive, cool tournament where you'll see the best of the best PvP teams having fun. And I'll be in chat over there. So cheers, guys. Thank you again to any donations and support. If you feel I missed your comment, you can feel free to whisper me, or I'll try to catch it again tomorrow. Same time, 5 PM GMT. I'll see you all soon.